Hi, everybody. Welcome to ZealZaddy. I am Scott. My pronouns are he, him. And this is Elixia, our D&D 5... You can't? Oh. Hold on.
I can hear.
You can... Can you hear me? Players, can you hear me? So only you, Tiffany, can't hear me. Are you... And we can't hear you. You're muted. Well, let me finish up. Oh, yeah, the audio has gone down on stream, I think. Hold on. Yes, it did. It was there a moment ago, and now it's gone. Unbelievable.
I'm listening to the stream, and you're coming through there.
Are you coming through?
I can hear it too.
No, I hear you. Okay. All right. So I'll start again. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Coventry. I'm the DM and storyteller here. This is Elixia, which is our D&D 5e campaign. And this is Season 2, Episode 38, I believe. And this is titled Gods of Desert Storms. We have 5 amazing players in here. And I want to get them in soon, but I do want to remind you of a couple things. One of them, you can give us a follow everywhere at ZealZaddy. But also, we have a big giveaway on Twitter right now where we're hitting 2,500 followers. So we're giving away you becoming a publisher. I've teamed up with some people we'll do the layout and design of your book. We've got an editor. We've got stock art from Dean Spencer Art. The editor is Chris Wright. And afterwards, even SideQuest Maps threw in a map for your game, and a senior playtester who does playtesting with MCDM has volunteered to do a playtest session and give you all the notes. So there's no more excuses. Get off your high horse and start making cool stuff. It's time to do it. All you got to do is bring your writing or a writer, and we'll do the rest with you. All right? So go on Twitter, follow the instructions. It's not hard. It's mostly follow the 3 people involved. Actually, this is 5 now. So follow everybody, retweet it, and have some people come along. So let's get to the players. All right.
Hi, everybody. Are the players here able to jump into this giveaway?
Heck yeah.
Like
I wanted to do that.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I'll kick my butt into getting my adventures actually written because I have way too many in my head.
The only people that can't are the 4 people and myself. I mean, I'm already doing my own, but the other 4 people that are involved who are already making their own stuff. And they're all pros. It's funny, though, that 2 of them came on today that was surprising. SideQuest Maps, I'd commissioned them to make a map for an adventure we're working on. And Natalie doesn't know, but she's going to do the cover, but don't tell her that. So SideQuest Maps is just finished a map, and it looks amazing. It's like it's a 4-story building with all kinds of creepy stuff in it. It's so cool. And I was talking to him, I paid him out a couple days ago, and then today he saw it, and he was like, I'll throw in a map. I was like, okay, just tell him to follow me too. Okay. So I threw him on. After I did that, the guy from MCDM, who's a lead playtester for MCDM, came and said, hey, I'll throw in free playtesting. He's got to follow me too. I'm like, dang, this is pretty cool. Everybody's throwing all the stuff in. I kind of want this book now. No, I don't have to do anything except my own layout.
He's going to I won. I won my own giveaway.
Right. But yes, you can all participate. And I'm going to announce the winner next week on stream. So it could be one of you on stream. So we'll get to hear your screaming, which would be cool.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's start with... How about Hipley? Blake.
Hey, yo, what's up? You guys really need to check out that dealer. That's like the coolest thing I've seen for like a giveaway. So you really need to check that out. I mean, come on, if you ever have that like inkling to send that date and then think you can actually get it done, like now's a chance to make it like realize. So you gotta hop on that. But yeah, my name is Blake. You can find my Twitter at Blake C Francis. I'm tired, but I'm here, so just gotta wake up a little bit. So but yeah, excited to play. I play Hipley Amber Water. We may be meeting someone cool today, or may not be cool. We'll see. But yeah, excited as always to play with these guys. So let's pass on to the next person.
All right, next person will be. Let's go to Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I play Cerridwen Sagewynd. She goes by Dwin. She's the bard of the party. And currently she's really enthralled in unraveling the mystery of this teleportation device. I was poring over the notes I had last week and like talking to my husband now, and I was just like, this part, this, and I'd like have it all circled, and I'm like, it means something. And was conspiring with Morgan, like, we're so close to the code, to cracking it. And so that was me last week. I think I caught somewhere.
You were very close to cracking it, and I think everybody got tired of waiting, and patience left, and then you arrived. Like, oh. But you'll have time to think about it.
Yeah, I'm
while you're walking a desert.
Yeah. So I'm excited to play the game. I love playing with this team. We got great moments, great players. I run my own campaign called Dungeon Damsels, which has been going on for about 2 years, and it focuses on the relationships that the characters build with NPCs and how that affects the world. But we're on hiatus right now because I got to focus on real life stuff. However, I just released the Father's Day special, and that is now on YouTube. It's on my channel. It's on Scott's channel, so you can find me at Dungeon Damsels on YouTube and Dungeon_Damsels on Twitter. I'm allergic to social media, so I only post when I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that. I should probably do better. And I'm pretty sure I posted it to podcast form now. It should be up and available too if you prefer that. So that's me.
All right, Natalie.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I use she, they pronouns, as does my character Desus, a Circle the Star druid with a level in Warlock, who has never been to a desert, has only heard stories, and is probably going to find out the heat is really, really bad.
And lack of water, too.
And lack of water. But hey, I'm sure the sky is beautiful at night. You can find me most places on the internet with Ghost Candle, especially on Twitter, where I post about my art, any tabletop stuff I'm doing, all that jazz, which we also have jazz. Hey. And as well as Ko-Fi, where I post weekly, usually Fridays, sometimes a little later, but usually Fridays I release emote packs. I've been on a Gem Dragon spin. So last week I released the Sapphire Dragon, so I think it's just Moonstone and Topaz left. Yes. We'll get there.
All right. Let's go to Morgan. Oh, you guys.
Me. Hello, Travis. I am Morgan. Mondays. My pronouns are he, him. I play Vesryn Magic. He is the party's wizard. And like Tiffany pointed out earlier, I have been pounding my head against the wall trying to figure out what the portal means. I do think I have some ideas as well, so it'll be interesting for us to discuss in character what we think is happening. I am the founder of Mindflayed Mondays. It is a group of professional dungeon masters. If you need somebody to run a game for you, myself or somebody on my team is happy to do so. Go to mindflayedmondays.com, check it out. You can find me everywhere on social media at Mindflayed Mondays, except on Twitter, which is just Mindflayed Mon. I also have a podcast that I run. We drop new episodes every Monday. We mostly do D&D 5e. in a homebrew world where literally the players are on floating continents. And we also do special one-shots. Right now we're doing a summer one-shot where one of my players, Jake, is running a Morkborg 3-part series. And we just dropped the first episode, and it is freaking hilarious, freaking crazy. If you don't know anything about Morkborg, check it out. You can die in a single breath in that game. It's insane. We also have t-shirts on Amazon. I'm wearing one tonight. So talk shit, get crit.
You wear the Smiling Dungeon Master, another one.
Yep. And a
third one.
awesome.
And a third one. Wait. Oh, it just went invisible. You went too close to the camera or something.
There it is. Your adventure awaits. It's an awesome shirt. Thank you guys. I love that you guys support me sometimes. So I appreciate it. Not sometimes, all the time, but I just been like wearing the shirts. And that's pretty much everything. There is one thing that I am working on, and I'm going to say it on here because, as I was saying to everybody offline, the more I say it, I can't back out of it. Thanks to Natalie, I was watching her solo play of Ironsworn. I started getting really interested in Ironsworn, so I am working on an Ironsworn Starforged mini-series that I will be putting on YouTube. It is a solo play game where I will tell a story and let the dice lead the way. So look forward to that. I don't know when it'll be fully out, but it is coming. So with that, I'm going to be quiet and pass on the baton.
All right.
Love you guys.
Jazz.
What up? I'm Jazz, also known as Scoria on Twitter. That's where you can find me doing D&D stuff, TTRPG stuff. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm playing Jada, whose pronouns are they, them. They are a Warforged sorcerer / fighter, and they're just here for emotional support. They're the emotional support robot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming to learn they need it too.
Oh, they'd be. Who's going to be their emotional support robot?
We'll take turns. It's fine.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I just finished. We just finished our Monster of the Week run miniseries over on Girls Run These Worlds. So that'll be up on YouTube soon, sometime this week, I think. And that was really cool. So please check that out.
All right, you guys want to start a recap? There's not a whole lot to recap. Just a whole bunch of boring stuff happened last week.
Yeah, just boring stuff. So we enter the cave. We see the crystal at the end of the cave hallway, I guess. Then each of us have to basically get past the security field around the crystal.
Yeah, the shadowy creatures.
Yes.
Oh, there were messages on the walls as we were leading in too.
Yeah, there's writing on the wall, literally, and
You were able to read the writing on the wall.
yeah, I could read it.
That was such a dad joke. It was so bad. It's still remnants from last
It
week.
was bad.
The more you say jokes, the worse we'll get.
And so we get to the crystal, and when we all are around it, there are kind of these lights that, when we get to it, the floor lights up and it connects us to the crystal. So then all 5 of us were connected. It made a star shape, and
Which we connected by finding a memory we didn't realize we didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I noticed, Cerridwen noticed that there were these kind of weird facets cut into the crystals. When you looked at it, you could see memories of yourself. And then she noticed that there was a memory that wasn't her memory. It was from a different time.
And a little bit before that, we saw Tana get shanked in the back with a sword.
Yeah, because Hipley touched the crystal with his
The
mage
mage hand.
hand. Yeah. And so we used the blood towel. It connected the star threads to us. Then
We got sucked into the crystal essentially.
yeah, we basically got sucked into the crystal in spirit form. If we would touch, we would share a memory. And everyone would see it within the shared mind space, basically.
Were our bodies just standing there, Scott? Like, were our bodies like around this crystal, just
Yeah, they were just there,
like,
hand on crystal.
Yep.
eyes open.
As we were floating in the crystal space.
And we had his, what's his name? Scrying at us. He's watching. It's like, what are they doing?
Here's
Oh yeah.
Here's a question for you. If we left our bodies somewhere in the sands of time and we went through that thing and we went to another location, are our bodies still back at the other location too?
Wait, what?
Do we have doppelgangers now?
I know. Do we create new bodies in the new location?
But wait,
And our bodies are still standing around that one, just waiting for us to come back.
that's creepy.
That's creepy.
Suddenly horror.
Now that's in
what
your
I
mind.
hated.
Now that's in your mind.
See, now you just threw out an idea that Scott can
It's
maybe
like, oh,
for
yeah,
later.
right.
Everything's a usable idea.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Then, after we all shared a memory within the crystal, we all kind of floated up, and we were in the air overlooking this vast landscape. You can see mountains in the distance. We're above the clouds, I believe.
And anytime we would like touch each other, we have to like tell each other like a truth.
Yeah.
Or
It-
not a truth, but a memory. Not a truth, a memory.
Yeah, we swap memories.
Yeah, the landscape was basically completely impermanent. There was no permanence to it.
I referred back to the writing on the wall which gave us clues, and one of them was truth is to traverse, senses cross the scape, revealing every wound. So I came up with the idea to try to use my senses to experience the world around me. So I had Dwayne lick the air. I don't know. Close our eyes, lick the air, and that triggered a memory that was not mine, but my sister's. Going to the beach. She could taste the salt in the air. And so then Dwayne encouraged everyone else to try it.
After Dwayne got a good memory, then we all get Dwayne gets a beach.
They weren't all bad memories, just somewhere.
I mean, Deezus almost. Deezus talk about. Then talk about.
Deez was mostly a good memory. Mostly.
It was my mom.
She got out
It was
right before it got bad.
Yeah.
This is like.
Well, not
Ew,
bad,
ew.
just something a
Creepy.
child does not want to witness of their parents.
Definitely not.
Or experience.
No.
Yeah.
Especially not experience, right?
It might cause trauma. Without might. It would cause trauma. Trauma.
So Deezus kind of kissed her dad.
She got out
Don't
just
say
before.
it.
Just before it happened.
She dipped out.
Just like-
He dipped out before. She's like, nope, out.
You all experienced it too.
I kind of retconned it where
You all kissed my
We
dad.
all kissed Deezus' dad. Oh, man.
We all-
Yes, we all saw it. We all saw it. So we all kissed her dad.
Yeah.
Deezus, I kissed your dad. I kissed your dad.
This changes everything.
We are so much closer now.
Jesus got out quick. Everybody else stayed in.
It was like, wait, we did this real quick.
Oh, your dad, eh?
Why did we
No,
Why
out of
this
that,
is
Jada
great.
would have been like,
No.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Sorry, I keep interrupting as she's telling us. She's giving the thing, the backstory of what happened. Go, Tiff. You got this.
yeah, sorry,
It's okay, no, it's fine.
Nothing
So we
derails
all-
like that.
We had a lot of visions of so everyone, someone listened, someone smelled, and we realized that the more we experienced the memories, the further familiar the person was. So I had a memory of my sister, and then Jesus had a memory of her mom, and then Vesryn had a memory of his brother, and then Jada had a memory. Blake Hipley had a memory of his dad, and Jada had a memory of this person that she had interacted with once, but had a pretty big impact in their life. Then to test the theory, Dwynwen did sniff the air again or whatever, and had another memory from someone that she had interacted with as a child once. So we all were kind of speculating over what that meant. Couldn't really pinpoint it. And so then we held hands and basically were thinking like, okay, we need to hold hands to teleport. Maybe that's what we need to do. So we're all starting to, okay, where are we going to go? And Vesryn says, let's go to the desert. And
I didn't
like,
say that. I said, hey, what if this portal is like the other ones where we say like, hey, we want to go somewhere, and that just happened to be the last place that anybody had said where we wanted to go,
Right.
and that's why.
To this
But it wasn't like I was like, hey. I didn't say,
but-
hey, let's go to the desert. I said, hey, what if we can use this to get to the desert, is what I had said.
Yeah.
In his joke Vesryn way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we're like, nah, we don't want to go there. We don't know where our bodies are going to wind up. So we were like, let's just go back to the cave. So we're all concentrating on the cave, and we wake up in a different cave in the desert. So here we are.
Because of somebody.
Thankfully, someone in the library, and now we're just bunkering down.
Yeah, until the sun sets.
And you do have a comfortable library with beautiful grass around it in the middle of the desert. It's sort of like Las Vegas.
Yeah, we got a little
Ooh,
oasis.
we have a tourist trap. There we go. We make some more money. We needed more money, so now there we go.
Once a week, come to the tourist trap.
I mean, that is fairly valid. Just can't be up for that long.
Yeah.
See, that makes it more expensive. It's like it's a once in it's not all the time.
Oh yeah, supply and demand, little supply.
Mm-hmm. You're hoteliers now.
Yes.
We were just inspired by Mama Bardusa. That's how it is.
I mean, you got to the music business, or into that. We're just dabbling in everything, so you got to keep your money diverse. So we're making sure to keep have the steady income come from all angles.
And you're actually standing outside the library because it had just rolled out, and you're down below the bluffs, the cliff face. So you're on the edge of the desert, and there's a lot of heat here. You can feel it's definitely not as comfortable for you as you were when you were, say, on the ships or in the nicer places. It's definitely hot and dry. There are cactuses in the area, although some were smushed over by the rollout of the library, the building. And the ibis, you see it like fluffs its feathers, and it's standing on guard now. Cats start running around, all the usual things. And there you are.
All right.
I rush inside because I want to see if those other people are there again.
You open the door and run in, and it is empty.
We follow in.
I mean, it's not empty. There's just no people there.
They're still disappointed.
The temperature is more pleasant inside than it is outside. I wouldn't say air conditioned or anything, but more like a controlled, normal temperature for a more temperate place.
I don't know. No AC in Arizona. It'd be feel like death, but as long as it's not too bad. All right, so yeah, stuff at least in there. So is anyone else in there too right now, or no? Does anyone else come up yet?
I'm assuming we all would have gone in there once we knew it was up. So.
Vesryn, can you magic us some, maybe something for the skin to protect us from the sun? If there's any kind of spell you have for that, something that can help with the...
Not quite sure if I have any sun protection spells. I did hear of an individual back on Elixia who made this cream that protects you from the sun, but I myself don't know any magic in that way.
Of course, why don't you know something useful for, the daily, everyday kind of life, but
Hey,
at least you have
now.
Fireball. I kid. He knows he's hit us off with his magic and the fireballs and stuff, so...
I've only used Fireball once or twice, and it was on groups of hags and creatures, and it was very useful.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I said it was a good thing.
Let's see.
Just kind of hoping those other people will be here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a little disappointed. But hopefully we'll see them again some other time, I guess. half the time or double the time.
Hopefully more.
Yes.
I mean, I guess they could be dead. I mean,
Oh,
where I
well.
come from, their world was pretty. I mean, our world is pretty terrible in lots of places too. So it's the same level of danger wherever you go.
I do have a couple spells that I could prepare tonight that might be helpful in our travel. I am now able to create a tower that we can stay in. So once this goes away, I can still be able to.
You're sick of the library. Okay.
No, I'm not sick of the library. I would prefer your library over the tower any day of the week. But I'm just saying, instead of us sleeping out in the hot desert or the cold desert every night, or in the day, whenever we decide we're going to travel, we could use the tower.
The one we used before, right? When that one night we had outside the. Okay. That was nice.
Well, not the tiny hut. I have the tiny hut as well. I have a new spell that I've been working on. It will create like a couple of rooms that we can stay in. It'll basically similar to like the library, except it won't be as wonderful. It'll be something that goes away. Anything that goes in it will come out. So it's not something that we can leave items in there, like we can do with the library. So it is limited. But
that reminds me. What are we gonna do with the Oh my gosh, with the mask! Now that I can be loud, who has it? Because I remember that it's. Oh man, has it? It's been quiet this whole time, though, right? We haven't heard anything. I mean.
Nope.
Okay. I'm sorry, That just reminded me of something. We have to try to.
We have to. You're correct. We do need to feel. We do need to decide we're going to deal with that. But
were we gonna try and chisel it? See if we could split it in half.
I was thinking about putting out the chisel and trying it.
That sounds. I don't know.
Honestly, for the longest time, I've wanted to keep the mask in case it's our only way to get to where we're going. But I no longer think that we need the mask to get there. Plus, it's too dangerous.
There will always be other ways. They just may not be the easiest.
Yes.
And knowing us, it definitely won't be the easiest. So I think that's a given.
I don't want to do it inside the library.
No, we should definitely do it outside the library if we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let me at least get 100 feet away, just for safety reasons.
And I, if you do remember, I did say I was going to buy a hammer when we were like a tool hammer when we were in one of the towns before we left, because I was literally thinking about chiseling this thing. So I would have the hammer from when we went shopping.
What do you think's gonna happen to your chisel? I mean, it's gonna just like break apart and just die. I mean, or at least something. I mean, what if something's like inside and you open up and suddenly it's in the world now? I mean, I don't know.
Is there anything? First off, maybe there's something here in the library, researching, using a chisel. Maybe there's something like a chisel that has come up in the past before, like this. Maybe there's been notes of a mask like this in the past before. Maybe we can see if there's what kind of effects might happen. Plus, do I know anything Arcana-wise? Do I think anything would happen if I use the chisel on there, knowing what I know about the two items?
Make me an Arcana check.
All right. Not my best one. It was a 10 plus my 7, so 17.
That's not bad. You know that when you split or break enchanted items, they tend to have a real world reaction that is often violent.
All right. I will not tell the rest of them this, but I will say, if I do this, I think it would be just from what possibly could happen for the rest of you to stand far enough back to where, not everybody is caught. If something does go wrong.
So if something could go wrong, you wouldn't be caught in the blast, would lose you. Is that worth them breaking the mask?
I don't feel I would be killed or anything like that, but there could be an explosion, knock me back, do some damage. No point in all of us being injured.
Well, how many of us know Mage Hand like Kipley? Are we able to, from a distance, try and do something?
The problem with Mage Hand is it only can do about 5 pounds of pressure. It's not necessarily going to be enough to crack a mask.
If you
Takes
use
more
the right
than-
angle, though, I think if you have the right angle and good technique and skill, it might be able to.
So
Good job.
we're gonna have the mage hand hold the chisel, and a second mage hand because we need at least 2 people with mage hands to even attempt that. I don't know mage hand personally.
Or if we had someone lift up a rock, if we cast flat, we fly up right above, line up, drop the rock.
Oh,
We still with the chisel, or
Yeah, so mage hand holding the chisel. That's all set up and nice and perfect. We have someone carry a big rock,
Could
or
damage
unless
the
we can
chisel, though,
levitate a rock and then just plummet it down.
I think that's a great idea. Less
it could
dangerous.
damage the chisel as well, though.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd rather not risk.
with the risk,
destroying
with the risk
chisel.
our lives instead of the chisel. I get.
Not our lives. I'm not risking anyone's life. I'm
Not the chisel.
I'm risking a little bit of injury to try to break a mask that I chose to bring with us, that I encouraged us to keep for this long.
Jada, make me a wisdom check.
I think it's a good idea, Jesus. I'm with you on the rock dropping, so you have my votes. Suddenly,
A wisdom check.
Yeah.
I'm pretty worried about breaking a chisel personally.
17.
You hear. He's just trying to take me from you. He's just trying to take me from you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just your subconscious. Probably not.
While I really don't like the idea of injury, we have ways to heal, don't we?
Heal. Yes, so as long as the body doesn't get disintegrated.
Probably not from this. It says to you.
oh,
Oh, if
No,
I
it's just saying that
rest-
to Jada.
dude.
If I rest, I could summon a minor elemental who could do the job. And we could put I don't know if we have the ability to put a wall of force. I may not have the concentration to put my own wall, but at least it would be an elemental doing it for us.
I too could summon a fae if needed. So we
Just do
have
that.
we could do those. Do you think the elemental would be able to have enough ability to understand how to hit it with the chisel? Or do you think it would be better to use a fae?
I mean, it would understand verbal commands as long as I tell it, strike
We
the.
could- Hipley, you can do mage hand, yes?
Yeah, yes, I can.
So if Hipley used the mage hand to hold the chisel in place, we could have the elemental slam down on it pretty accurately.
Yeah, maybe like an earth elemental.
Yes,
Hmm.
perhaps.
Right, well, I'll need a long rest to get all my spell work sorted.
Same. Is there anything we want to research while we have the time?
Yeah, I want to see if we can figure out what that crystal was made out of. Why a crystal? What material?
I've been thinking as well. I think if we would have stayed in there longer, it would have eventually taken us through not just people we knew as friends and family, but maybe our enemies. Could have seen memories from perhaps Chandran or even the individual we hunt now at the Eye. We could have maybe got insight to them. Because it looked like it was getting... It's people that we've come in contact with or have some type of connection to. But it just seems to go further and further out the longer we search through those memories. Now, the one thing that does puzzle me still is who determines these memories? How, you know what I mean? Like how, who or what determines these? That's what bothers me. Like, how far away can we go? Could we go, if we stayed there for hours just doing it over and over, would it take us so far away from who we know that eventually it's not even people we've had contact with?
And who would want to do that for hours though? Because like that was like enough for me. I mean,
It's
I don't know.
also
That
2
was
days
like
in
I
real
don't.
time.
Yeah,
so
so
No, it wasn't enough time.
But who determines those, and How far away could we get? And here's the other thing. After each memory, something was burning in the distance, yes?
No,
Yeah, so smoke.
There was smoke in the distance. I wonder what that represents. But I do believe...
Oh,
Go ahead.
Go on. No, it's okay. Finish what you're going to say.
I do believe that if we would have stayed there, that we might have been able to get more insight to some of our enemies, perhaps.
Well, I mean, that's possible, but I honestly feel like it's a long shot. What I'm concerned about is that every time we encounter some kind of old magic, there's some sort of exchange or sacrifice that is asked of us. Like, for example, every time we've used the name and stones and asked for blood or sacrifice, when we traveled with the orchestra, I'd like to think that the sacrifice was the song itself and putting that all together, so the sacrifice of talent. When the two of you and I went through the watery cube thing, we lost memories.
Mm-hmm.
What do we give up here? I mean, the other thing I noticed is that whenever I used a blood sacrifice, we would travel to somewhere that was already here on this planet. This plane. But whenever we sacrificed like something, they're not bodily. It would take us to a different plane. Like when we went through the cube, we lost a memory and we went to a different plane. When we traveled with the music, we traveled to a different plane. And they also weren't naming stones. So I think theoretically this one, since it asked for a blood sacrifice, it could transport us somewhere along the ley lines here, but also could potentially take us to another plane. So we might be able to get to the Shadowfell from there.
Potentially. From inside there. Like if we say, I want to go to the Shadowfell.
But we don't know what we're giving up.
Well,
I
don't know if we gave anything up on this one. But the same thing with the music. We didn't really give anything up.
We don't know, though.
We lost time. We lost time both with this one and that one. Perhaps it's time that we give up. We lost 2 days. And we were only in there for...
Maybe the time is the sacrifice. But
I mean, yeah.
It could also be the fact that we have traveled to a different plane. Maybe traveling actually just takes a lot of time. I don't know. Maybe... I mean, she probably wouldn't know about, like, the space-time continuum. How that would work. So
she's pretty well read, though, so...
You know, I'm like...
But even if it was, due to us going to a new plane that we lost the time, maybe they took that into account as part of the sacrifice, knowing that we would lose time. We gave the blood, we went in there, we lost the time, we got where we wanted to go. And the sacrifice was still the time, whether it's from being in that plane or from using the magic to go where we're going. But there is always a sacrifice with everything that we've encountered. And what I find odd is every one of them has, in some ways, been similar, but also very different. Like when we were in the Blue Waste, that was very unexpected.
Yeah, and that asked for a life. Blood was to activate it, and then.
And then it stunned everybody that wasn't prepared, and then the ones that were not stunned had to choose between the people that were unconscious who would die. It still haunts me.
They've all been different, like every one of them. And actually, the naming stones on Elixia did not ask for a blood sacrifice.
We had to use the animals, not the naming stones, but the portals.
Right, but not the standing stones in the hidden space on Elixia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not those. But I was thinking, we were talking about like the portals that were taking us around the island. We had to give those animal sacrifices.
Yeah.
And it had to be an animal. Had to be an animal that we killed.
Yeah, we had to kill an animal.
Yep.
Sorry, that was a Tiffany mistake. She thought they were the same. Okay, so yeah.
I know we've already looked, but we should look more into these type of portals and these stones and see if there's anything that we might have missed.
And what are you trying to gain from it? I mean, just to get to the Shadowfell, what's the angle of like setting these?
I want to I want to try to understand these better. So if we come in contact with them and we have to use them, we can hopefully use them more wisely, less dangers. The more you know, the less danger you're in when you're dealing with something. It's mostly just for understanding what we're dealing with. Because what if we have to go back through that to get back to where we were? And I'd like to try to understand that a little bit better before we step in that port.
It seems like a slippery slope. But one that we're already on, so I guess it is what it is.
I'm gonna hit the bookstation.
And I bet you we could use that portal to get back to White. Unfortunately, then we lose your stone and the payment we were going to get from that one individual. But that portal could probably take us right back to White immediately, if we needed to go there.
Cerridwen, can you make me an Arcana check, please? As you're going through the books and the notes you have.
Can I assist?
No.
No? Okay.
Before she, can I cast enhance ability on myself before I begin?
Here, allow me to guide you.
Were you going?
Journeys
What
through
were you going?
texts.
What were you looking for exactly?
She wanted to find specifically what the crystal was made of and
Okay.
why a crystal.
Okay.
That would definitely give them some idea. Of,
Yeah, you can cast it
about rocks and stuff. Things about that nature definitely would. Granny inside would on any books that would contain material that would stuff to it.
Yeah. There's probably a whole section on crystals and stones in your library.
I'm giving you guidance. Smack you on the back of the arm.
You're right in the back of the head. You got this. Ow.
Is this Arcana?
Yes.
It's a dirty 20.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you find that there are there's a book that discusses the idea that gemstones, that the facets of the gemstones are mirrors into the mind. And sometimes they reflect back things from elsewhere. If the crystal is cut perfect and has been enchanted. Topaz is particularly good at this. And that stone was blue, which topaz usually is blue. Not always, but usually. So potentially that could have been some kind of a massive topaz gemstone that was magic.
Just for record, how big was that stone again?
About 3 times as tall as any of you.
Oh, man.
It was massive.
Okay. Yeah, I remember it being big. I just couldn't remember how big it was.
And Cerridwen, while you're doing that, can you make me another Arcana check, please?
Oh, that's a 22.
Okay.
Actually, 21.
As you're looking through this stuff and comparing the writing that you have, the symbols and all that, you acquire the ability to actually read the ancient language you realized over all this time. So you can add this as a skill, as a language, is the ancient language. So when we come across it, you've gained enough knowledge, you've seen enough of the runes, you've seen how it works and functions, that, while you're in a place where you can research and study peacefully, it clicks.
Okay, so I've successfully deciphered Ancient Elixian.
Enough that you can start reading it.
Okay.
I mean, yes. You may be the only one in the world that can do that. Maybe. Well, I know there's at least one more, but.
Okay.
I would like to use the time, as I said, to research these portals and see anything I can find about these portals, other portals, and these ley lines, the connections between them. Trying to understand the magic of how they function.
Most portals are centered on a complex ley line, which means one where there's several intersections. that you can kind of piece together just from the knowledges you've gained and from the bits of reading where there's things involved in that. But one thing that you also find that is that often when there's a portal there, that with the right magic, you can sort of get a picture of what's happening at other portals if you know how to do it.
Interesting.
You just don't know how they do it, but you know that that's a thing now.
Maybe maybe some form of scrying through at a portal location.
Some kind.
Which makes sense for Nios.
Yeah, it does. All right. Well, I know what I'm going to be researching, trying to figure out how to scry. Do those things. We might be able to use those to, if we want to go somewhere, look ahead, make sure we're not stepping into danger. You know. Interesting.
Hipley, you're in a library and you're not doing anything. That doesn't make sense to me.
I'll be chilling with actually with Jada, seeing how they're doing.
Okay.
Because they're basically gonna put stuff like that to things. I'm like, I'm interested, but like, yeah. Especially after the emotional stuff happens, so I'll definitely just see what Jada's up to. Where is Jada?
Good question. Where are you, Jada?
It's not that big of a library.
It's not. I mean,
No.
I'll be in the central part of it with everybody else. I think Jada's mostly inert though, inactive.
Inert.
Inert.
It's a funny word for. It's a funny word.
Inert or just like sitting inert? So I imagine just standing there, just
Yeah, just
standing, just like
surveying. I think that Jada, when the nerds get into researching mode, will be there for like support. So like, can you if anybody asks them like, hey, can you search this side of the library for this stuff? They'd be like, yeah, I can do that.
While you're doing it, can you make me a perception check, please?
I would love to. No.
Okay. All right.
I got an 8.
Yeah,
scary.
8 won't do it.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
suddenly.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, no.
So.
But yeah, I think that they have been eyeing the outside. I don't know. Wait, can I ask a question?
Yep.
What like? Oh, what's the word? Climate. What climate is the core?
Zakor is sort of like rocky, not quite desert, but near desert, where there's some plant life and some. It's warm or hot. It's like the Badlands of the West, of the American West. It's deserty, but there are places where there are pockets of green, and anywhere where there's water, their life grows pretty well. But there are big stretches where there's not enough water running, so it turns into deserts and buttes and plateaus. So it ends up with a lot of communities built, live in the ravines between the high plateaus where the shade is most of the time. So it cools them.
Okay. I was just wondering if Jada is equipped for desert, and I don't think that they... Well, I wouldn't say that they are.
I mean, did Jada feel hot outside? I mean, I know your skin got really hot.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
You're actually the only one that has probably ever traversed actual desert.
Yeah. Well, yes, that I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any books on when is the best time to travel in the desert?
Yeah. Night, winter.
You should also maybe look up
One
creature.
chapter. Just one chapter, just name with this
Yes,
big word.
Desis is correct. We should look up what type of creatures we might encounter in this part of the world.
Yeah, I have some survival books in here that might be kind of handy.
So you learn about scorpions and There are some pretty nasty ants that live in the desert. There are bigger animals too, like there are wild mules, camels, like wild camels. In some places where there's enough water, there are horses, hyenas and jackals, lions, particularly on the edges, not so much in the dune deserts, but on the edges of the dunes and anywhere where there's an oasis, you might come across that. Venomous snakes.
You're not selling this trip, Scott. You're not selling this journey at all. You're not selling this just.
Vacation.
Occasionally kobolds.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
They're fun.
Hey, now you sold it.
Oh, we haven't dealt with kobolds since the island.
I don't think I've ever seen a kobold in person.
Well,
They made friends with some.
no, I wouldn't say friends.
Brian just made
Who are you
generous.
speaking to?
Acquaintances.
Yeah, right.
Who are you speaking to?
That's true. I am speaking in his book, but I wouldn't say friends. But yeah, Dylan made a weird deal with them, and man, they weren't happy in the end. So
They sent their lawyer and negotiator.
It was actually
Yeah.
Mark who made the deal.
Yeah,
yeah, it
Morgan.
was more. But they were trying to get the rest of us to fulfill the deal of doing something stupid, and we're like, "No, you got to deal with him," and they did not like that at all. But yeah, the kobolds on Elixia, who knows? They could be the same, or they could be different.
Mm.
Different environments can breed different types of culture.
Yeah.
Kind of exciting, though. I mean, see all these kind of creatures I'm going to see every day, so it's kind of exciting. Hopefully, you can see them from a safer distance, but.
Hipley, is there any books in here on the Sphinx?
Are there any hip books here on the Sphinx that I would know about? I mean, I take it to Hana probably wouldn't like, knowing what I know now, I'm pretty sure
Have
she
it
would have
obvious.
it's like Sphinx.
It is very odd that there is no book in there on the Sphinx now. But there was at one point, and you remember that. Because that's how you learned initially. And that book is missing.
Do I remember when it went missing at all?
This is the first time you noticed that it's not there. Could have been the other group. I mean, they're dealing with the Sphinx too. Maybe they...
Hey, don't do that. don't.
Don't sow discord.
Wait a second. Suddenly, we gotta kill them, you guys. Just kidding. Well, now that you mention it, there. I don't know where it went to, but there was a book about. Do you remember anything about the book about Sphinx? Was it out there or was it? Do I recall?
Yeah, the Elder Sphinx is considered a god. Very powerful. Generally stays away from civilization. Is mostly disconnected from people at all, for the most part.
No, definitely. I'll relay that sense of it's not very fun at parties. Not very fun at parties. So. But I don't know where that book went though. You bring up a good point. I have no clue where that actually
could.
And did I see this book? Did I see this after we met the Elder Sphinx, or not the Elder Sphinx, but the other Sphinx? Or I knew about this before?
You had known about
the
it
Sphinx?
before you met the Sphinx.
Okay.
So it could have been the other group, or maybe your mentor maybe hid it before things happened. Maybe there's something hidden inside the book. She had some hiding places here. There could be others.
True. I mean,
we could look around just to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we do so very, 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 very carefully, I mean,
and respectfully as well.
But I also think too. I mean, if she wanted me to know something, I feel like she would have just said something. I mean, I hate to think that a lot of secrets. I mean, this was a pretty big one, so it's kind of disheartening that there could be even more.
Well, perhaps she knew it was dangerous, and she was just trying to hide it until the right time.
And we know this Sphinx does making sure you earn your knowledge, that you earn your research, and they enjoy their hustling out. We still gotta confirm what has a heart but no other organs.
Oh, is there any riddle books in here that might have answers in there?
Yes, is it?
Sure.
There are some riddle books here. Yes.
There's probably
Any
some.
cheat sheets
There's
and
probably
those,
some books that talk about like some of the classic riddles. So sure,
You can,
walk you through some of them and how you and probably explain the process of logic, which you didn't realize there was a process to. It's like a studied thing, apparently.
I love book club.
the one that
I'm starting to hate book club. So many damn books I got to think about all the time now.
You gave us a library.
I know,
Yeah.
I did. It's my fault.
Yeah.
They can take it away.
It's true.
Suddenly,
Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. He may not remember that he could do that.
Never do that
you guys want to search
without
the book, you
provocation.
can- I guess we can search. See,
I think Vesryn would spend some time looking around at the walls just to see if there's any potential.
Make me a
places she might
perception
hit
check.
something for him.
I'll give him the help action, and I'll be like, "You can check over here." I mean, this is a pretty. If I was gonna hide something,
I rolled a natural 18 plus 4, but let me see if I get a.
You think you hear laughing somewhere?
The second one was a 17.
that's creepy.
Yeah, when you
I was like,
and it's weird. It's very quiet, but somewhere you're not sure where.
19, 20, 20. It was a 22 total. So
Yep.
I think I hear laughing. Do they hear it when I point it out or no?
And then when you point it out, a few minutes later, you hear another like laughter, and
I try to find
it
it.
sounds almost distant.
so I'm gonna cast detect thoughts. So I'm gonna cast that and see if I can like pinpoint any other. So I know like their thoughts. I know like with theirs, I feel like mirroring so much. So do I feel anything else like to pick anything else up with them?
What's the range of your spell?
That is a great question. Detect thoughts. It is. So 30 feet, but I can move around too, so that's a minute. So I can the library's not like I can make sure to.
Yeah, I understand. So you walk around the library and you're not detecting any thoughts. But you do occasionally, now that you're all paying attention, you do occasionally hear this cackle, and sometimes now there's a second one like cackling with the first one.
Is it like a hag cackle?
No.
Is it a-
Just
What
like
kind of
boisterous
cackle?
laughter.
Does it sound like friendly laughter? I mean, like what kind of laughter are we talking about?
Desus, can you make me a wisdom check, please?
I am just wondering if it's
Wisdom
a
check.
menacing laughter or if it's like a like, oh shit.
That's a really low for me. That is a 11 total.
Okay. Yeah, no, you don't recognize it.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna try to look for the laughter source.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we all are.
As you walk around, there are a couple of windows. Near the windows, it's louder. And as you get to the hallway, in the door, like it's louder. It sounds like maybe it's coming from outside, not inside.
Does it sound like adult laughter? I mean, like, is this like...
It doesn't sound human. It just sounds... It sounds...
Like an animal?
Maybe.
Like a hyena? Not that I mean, Vesryn wouldn't know, but
No.
That's what I was.
It's like, wait a minute.
Maybe. Could be. If
just
you knew
read
what a
about
hyena
it.
was.
Well, we just read about it, didn't we? I mean,
Yeah, we did
technically,
just read
have
about
a
them.
book about...
Yeah, you read
Is it
about them.
animals?
You never heard one.
But it would say, it would describe the
never
sound.
heard of hyena if I've traversed the desert?
You have, yes. And Desus knows what it is.
Oh.
And you do, and you realize after a little while, oh, I think that you think it is hyenas out there somewhere.
Yeah, probably our little oasis may have attracted some guests.
Yeah, Dwayne like opens a window. Hello?
And hops in.
Oh, not a
Right, no,
friendly
no.
guest. Not a friendly guest. I just go over and like put it back down.
Okay, they need to eat anyway, so that's a good meal for them. That's fine. I think they eat more than just hags, so they can have a hyena, not a protein.
this hyenas would be dumb to come over here. The big bird just come to eat them.
Yeah, there's like giant skyscraper ices. Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go make us some cool sweet tea and maybe some veggie salads or something.
Oh,
That
I will
sounds
help out in
good.
the kitchen.
All right.
Library cards. That was funny. Michael said, "Take away the book club's library cards.
Yeah.
Can't check out the books.
You're asking too many questions.
It's a library.
Your brain can't imagine the Dewey Decimal System anymore. It's all random." And you're making the salads, and the sound of the hyenas seems to be growing in number. Like you're hearing more cackling than you did before, and there you go.
Howling
There's the
and
bee.
We'll go outside to king of hyenas.
As I say, can we see now the windows? Because do the windows show our outside? Because I know with the door, whoever opened it before, is it just like nothing from the windows? Just curious.
No, you can see out the windows if you open them. They're like frosted. They're like frosted glass, but if you open them, you can see out.
And yeah,
I'll go over with Vesryn and be like, I guess we can look outside.
Yeah, do we see hyenas out there?
I'm gonna lean like
In the
far out.
distance, like not in the
Grab you by
grass.
the back of your collar.
You see some of them, a few of them, sort of sniffing along the edge of the grass line, not stepping in, or if they do, it's like a foot and then they back off. There's definitely a nervousness to them, and they're just
I'm
chattering with each other about it. What?
To kind of shoo him away, like Mage-Chan, like
it's like bop one on the nose.
Well, before you do, I'll say, Tiffany, do you want me to fireball them? I know how much you love my fireball.
Ooh, yes, toast them.
Might be able to. They might have good meat. It might be good to eat.
I mean, if you toast them, I imagine it'd be kind of burnt crisp. But okay, yes, we can try. We can try. Go blast them.
Might scare them away as well, and that way they know not to mess with us.
That's a good point. Blast them. I say go for it.
Should I ask the others first?
No. Why?
They might. Well, they may not approve of us just killing a bunch of random animals out in the desert. So.
But they're not here. So I mean, if they were here, if they really care, they would be here. So.
Wait for the druid and
Is your
the
hip please not the mask?
Desus, should I shoot them away with a fireball?
What? No, we're not
What?
talking. Desus is
Fireball.
no, never mind. We're good. Desus, keep cooking. We're fine. We're just.
I pop out with a half chopped cucumber in my hand.
That was good.
What did you say?
They're starting to gather in large numbers outside. Should we, make sure they know not to mess with the area?
Exactly. Yeah, we're just making sure. That's all.
Are you planning to hit them with the fireball?
No, just like near them.
Maybe 1 or 2 to scare the rest away, but off to the
I
side.
would think a smaller spell could do that.
Outside.
It doesn't have the same effect on animals. You hit one, then they might get more aggressive. But if you hit, it's a big explosion, they might be fearful of it.
I just turn around and walk away.
He's still talking. The idea of throwing a fireball and not killing something is just a waste of the spell.
The cucumber.
Desus approves. Fireball. Fireball.
And you can see that they're very cautious. They're not stepping in the grass. There's something very like it doesn't make sense to them. So they're interested. It's interesting, but they're not.
If they progress,
their exploratory senses are definitely like their fear radar is like bing, 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 this is not right, and they're keeping back off the edges.
All right. Well, if any of them start to encroach further, then I'll do it. I'll keep an eye on it. Actually, I'll have Soul keep an eye on it, and I'll have Soul, sit by the window and just watch. And if they start to come further in, she'll, let me know mentally. So I can come over there and scare them off.
Maybe a perception check.
All right. Is this mine or Soul's?
Through Soul.
All right. Let me go look at Soul's stats. Where is it? All right. Soul has a +3. All right. 15 for her.
So some of the hyenas they're coming and going, but out in the distance, you see them kind of go and like meet with something that looks like this.
Flop, flop,
Like a
What's
person.
that?
Do
we know? Do we know what those
all?
all? Do we know what those are from the books that we've been reading?
Jada knows that those are called Zavoas.
Jada, so see something.
And they laugh like hyenas. They can speak with hyenas.
What? What did you say?
Jada, this something that these gnolls seem to be. Oh, sorry, not gnolls. These hyenas seem to be communicating with. It looks a little bit different. Can you see what this is? I know from the memory you've been in, because we know from the memory that she's been in the desert because we all saw that memory. So I would refer to her first.
Sorry.
Did you see anything like this when you traversed the desert?
They were the terror of the deserts.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
And there's never one.
Where's the others?
You don't see them. Soul is out there, not you. You don't even see this.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know.
I mean, if you do, it's so far in the distance, it's like barely visible to you.
I could send Soul without scope if you think it's worth doing.
Where there's one, there's usually a pack of them, so...
I will tell Soul to fly high and scout around the area.
Okay.
Starting where they're at and then kind of go out and then come back when she gets front.
It seems like they're gathering in a spot in the distance, but where they can watch from there, this place, and the hyenas are being used as sort of are testing the edges. You can see the hyenas take a step in and back out, and they take a step in, a few steps in and back out.
I will throw a fireball if they are taking steps in.
Only taking a step or two.
Fireball.
This juice, oh my gosh.
No, because here's the thing is if these things attack, I might need that fireball.
We can sleep. I mean, we're in here for like the 24 hours. You can
Unless
trance.
they raid
you don't have to sleep. You can just trance.
Couldn't they raid this place though, since it's physically here?
Oh my gosh.
I'd hope the giant ibis could scare them off.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but if there's enough of them, they may see it as something to hunt.
I mean, I guess they could. I mean, a giant. Well, they'll be focused on that. I mean, they'll be focused on getting inside.
And they are gathering in some numbers in the distance where they're at.
I will relay to them, to the whole group. We should be on guard. There may be unwelcomed guests. What did you call them, Jada? They're the what of the desert?
Zavoas.
Thank you.
Also called hyena men.
The Zavas.
But you said there's something, the plague of the desert or something? What did you call them?
Terror. The terror.
Terror of the desert.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I know we're safe in here, but they may be able to come in if they breach the perimeter.
Well, regardless, this library only lasts 24 hours, so they could just wait us out. It might be smarter to bring the fight to them and then retreat so we can rest.
Yes, well, I mean, here's my problem. I've already used several spells today, remember? So I'm already running on half. I'm half empty. So, for the record, I've used all my third level slots in one second level slot. I have my fourth levels and I have my first levels. That's all I got. So,
Something.
Yeah, I have stuff, but I just want you guys to be aware. Vesryn's not running on full. So if this is a large group, we could be in trouble if we try to wait it out until we rest. So, and they attack us while we're trying to rest.
We could
go out there and just,
we could take turns. We could take turns watching them, and then you, Vez, need to rest first, because at least you can do it in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I only need 4 hours. That's true. And then I would have my full rest. Because I can trance. And I look at it.
Just sit there and just trance. It's like I don't dream. I just trance.
Jada, from your experiences, is there any way that we could possibly reason with them? I mean, judging by the nicknames, I would say no, but all the people that have been able to work with them?
Your risk was in being killed, but they eat those they find.
No.
And they don't even leave bones.
They eat people.
Dang, how sharp are their teeth? Dang. Well, I mean,
I'll have Soul keep an eye. And I will relay a message to Soul that if they look like they're going to start making a move on us, or when it gets dark for her to return, because then she's just a glowing light in the sky. But during the day, I want her watching them. And if they do start to make a move, come in and let one of them know.
Okay.
is that right? So are they unnatural? And I feel like the book would have said something about this, assuming they're like a natural kind of creature. The book was that we've read about the creatures. I mean, I feel like if they were, they would have popped up in that book. So I assume they're not like a natural kind of species. More
Yeah, there's actually some places where, and Jada would know, in some places they will occasionally break away from their clans and can live in society normally. I mean, it's not comfortable for them or easy for them, but they can.
Can they? So they can speak then. So they're okay.
Yeah, they can speak.
So they can speak. Is there any? Would we or would Jada know if there's? Or we wouldn't, but would Jada know if there's been any actual full groups like clans that have broken away from their norms and live, a different life, or if they're clans, they're pretty much just like don't mess with them. I don't want to just go out and start killing people that may have broken away from their old ways. So.
Oh my God, Fiddly Dies are my new character already made now. Thank you, Scott. I got my character made.
Hyena Man. Yeah.
I ain't even kidding. Like for real, if I could, that'd be sick.
Make me a perception check through the eyes of Soul, please.
She's a +3, I think. That's what I said, right? Yes, +3. 15 again. I rolled a 12 again. So.
Okay. You can tell they're slowly through the night gathering. There's probably 8 or 10 of them right now, and several. And the hyenas are sent out in different directions.
Maybe we can give them a nice meal. Nice meal always makes me more.
You're not going to feed me to them, Hipley. Stop trying to get rid of me.
But come on, they're good for the good.
So would it have been 4 hours? Because you said into the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not making a move. They're gathering.
I'm right next to you the whole time, just doing this and your trance. Ooh, can you see this?
So that way I don't get the rest.
4 hours. No, not enough to break it, but just enough to be okay. Where is the line?
You're an ass. You're an ass, but I love it. All right, so at least Vesryn would have spells to assist.
But I'm serious. What if you made a meal? If they are capable of speech? I mean, I don't know. I mean, does everything have to end in violence?
I can, if I observe them for a day, I'll be able to talk to them.
Do we know if they can speak? Oh, so do we know, Scott, would Jada know if they can speak common, or do they speak their own language?
Well, as an adept linguist, if I observe humanoids interacting with one another for at least a day, I'll learn important words, gestures, and expressions enough to communicate on a rudimentary level. We don't need to share language with them.
So we have to be there, though, so you have to, be
I'd
with
have
them,
to
though.
observe them, yeah.
And Hipley, are you able to communicate with them through your mind as well? So that we have 2 ways of trying.
They're too
Oh
far.
my God.
Not right now, but if we get close enough.
That's good.
Combined languages or something.
Jada, you know that
shit.
they are capable of speaking common, and most of them do. It's really guttural and barely understandable, but it is understandable if you pay attention and you work with them to do it. That the couple that you've met in cities or towns, and there were only a couple, were capable of communicating with people. It was rough.
I could have Soul deliver a message, drop a letter down on them, that we would like to have one of ours meet one of theirs.
Why?
And see if they're willing to talk and be peaceful. If not, then at least we know before we go out there and put ourselves at risk.
I can fly at least 60 feet away, because only 60 feet to telepath. That's a great idea. I can telepathically communicate with them. Just gotta be 60 feet away from them, and still be a safe distance.
60 feet's not that safe.
I was going to say, what makes it
True.
safe?
Yeah, it's not. They
Arrows,
a javelin or
yeah,
javelin. Just
javelins, arrows, and spears. I'm pretty sure they can. if they're hunters, I'm sure they can hit you from that distance. I mean, that'd be fine, but like I said, we could have Soul drop a letter, like in a bottle near the camp, right? And then they can read it. You said most of them should be able to speak common.
But reading's another thing, though.
Reading is a whole other thing.
Reading's a whole other ball game.
True. Perhaps we can draw a picture of a hand showing like peace, and maybe they'll understand what that means. I'm just saying, we should at least attempt to make some form of
I just
communication.
want to go out there and communicate with them. I'm going to open the door and start walking a little bit there. I'm like,
If anybody's
Like,
going to go communicate with them, it's going to be the one who can't be eaten by them.
I'm already walking. Y'all can come with because like we're going to talk about this. I just want to hit this
how
down.
How about we go? But
him back.
listen. We can all step outside. That way they see we have numbers. Once we get a little bit closer, we let Jada go up. I will put Soul on her shoulder so I can listen in. If there's any threat, we can easily jump in very quickly.
Okay, well, let's stack the deck.
Let's see something here.
I was hoping to get a resting so I can change up my spells because I'm suited for water, not desert right now.
I know. I can summon a Fae as well to give us an extra. I did take that spell while I was resting. Thank you for that.
So Dwayne will approach the two of you and play a little song on her truth. And you guys get enhanced ability for Bear's Endurance, so you get 8 additional temporary hit points, and you have advantage on combat.
Who do you play it for?
You and Jada both get 10 hit points.
Awesome. I lost help last session, so.
So what's the plan now? Who's going out? Is there a bottle being dropped or something? Or like what's?
I think we're all going to step outside to a certain distance, and then as Jada pointed out, they won't necessarily eat her. So if there is a chance for communication, it might be best for her to make the approach. Soul would be on her shoulders, so I can listen in and see if there's any threat that things are starting to pop off, and then we can react very quickly. And we'd be close enough to where we should be able to get within like one turn if we need to, or within range to cast spells within a turn, but far enough away to show that like she has backup, but we're allowing her to speak.
And make sure no weapons out too, like because that'd be a pretty like sword out. I feel like that'd be like so. Make sure that our swords kind of.
I can shoot a firebolt into the air to let them know that we're coming as well, to give them like a notice.
I don't know. I mean,
they can see us coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's dark out. Let's at this point.
Do they have dark vision?
Some fire thing through the sky that might kind of, I don't know, that might either be like,
They also attract other enemies we may not want to deal with.
True. We're here.
Yeah, but then they have to deal with 2 sets of enemies, whatever comes.
So do we.
And we as well.
we
We can use that to get away. We might be able to use that to speed off.
Where we're gonna run to? We're in the desert.
I can summon my tower. They can't get us in there, and then hopefully they won't be able to enter that.
I can't?
They cannot enter unless I allow them to enter the tower that I can create.
How long does the tower last?
Yeah.
24 hours.
This is just
they
wait
could
outside.
just wait 24 hours.
They might, but by then we can already
Cast
have
it
them.
again.
It's true, we can also just sleep in the tower.
It's just a stalemate then.
Yeah, but eventually they'll get tired because they're just sitting out in the desert. Do they sit
True.
on the desert every day, or do they leave to go find food somewhere else? What's worth it? Are we really that worth hunting? Or, I'm just saying.
So
ways
the
around
plan
this.
is to annoy them to move it on.
Plus, I believe that because I can cast the spell, I could just re-up it the next
We're gonna be
day,
here for just.
and it just. And I
Anyway,
actually
we live
believe.
in this desert now.
Okay.
Jada,
There's
make
our contract.
Jada, make me an intelligence check.
Not my strong suit, y'all.
I know you have to make them all the time though.
I imagine we're discussing this as we're
It's
walking,
not a
like,
negative
west
anymore.
towards-
It's a 16.
Okay.
And with this tower, by the way, if I cast it every day for a year, it becomes a permanent tower.
in the
So
desert.
Desert
In
tower.
that
I could
spot,
just-
right?
Yeah, in that spot. So I could just re-up it until they decide to leave.
So one thing that you do know about them when they hunt, they love the chase, and they're known for, once they have like a chase has begun, nothing outruns them. Because you can run faster than them, but they never tire then. Like, they'll run to exhaustion and won't be exhausted until they get to prey. And some of them will even fall to their death after they arrive from a long chase if necessary.
The ultimate persistence.
They would wait out the tower. So essentially, they kind of would wait out of the tower.
I'm rereading the spell, and I think they could still break in. I don't think it's not like that other spell where they can't come in. So it wouldn't help us that much. But we could funnel them into a room so that way we don't have to do it
one at a time.
I would honestly rather just get it over with.
Yeah.
We can try to go talk to them and see if they're
Let's do it.
friendly.
Yeah.
But
I feel like we're talking like as like we're like walking slowly towards like we're having this conversation.
Talking about the tower as we're going. Hey, I could create a tower.
Okay,
Did
so
you drop the tower on them?
Unfortunately, I'm not that skilled with the magic. It just appears. It doesn't fall from the sky. Hipley is talented in that area.
and have it fall sideways and roll down the dune and smush all of them.
Oh my god, that'd be.
But forget we're at the bottom of it. They were like, "Yeah, oh shit."
No, we aim for a window and duck.
Yeah, it's just.
this is very Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I like this plan.
But anyway, shenanigans aside.
We're walking towards it really slow. That we're like, we're coming.
Okay, so Jada's going, Hipley's going.
We're all going out, but I think
Okay.
Jada was going to go a little bit further ahead once we got closer to the edge.
Only Jada.
I'll go too. I mean, I'll hands up. Like, I'll go.
No.
No, Jada said she didn't want us to because they'll more likely want to eat you. But if she goes out, they might be more willing to talk.
Hipley's earning his nickname of Death Wish. Hipley Death Wish Amberwater.
Everyone get them. That's I like it.
I almost went to Urwater.
Who gave you that nickname? They are terrible people.
Oh,
And Soul is going with Jada.
On the shoulder. Because I can cast magic through her, some spells to assist, as well as, hear what's going on.
So the rest of you, where are you going to? You're just going to walk out where?
I would say, 45 feet away?
I'm gonna
Away from what? Away from
Jada,
them?
like 45 feet back from Jada. So that way we could get within range to cast spells and also show our force. They see that we're there and we are not scared of them.
Cast spells.
Okay.
There's some fireballs.
And as you're going, you realize you're being followed by hyenas who start surrounding the party. And they're surrounding in a way that you would surround prey. Mm-hmm. They're coming in close. They're testing your boundaries.
As we're walking up, I will summon a Fae by our side as well to add an extra person to the fight.
Okay.
Is this like a friendly Fae? Like, so you just summon like it's like a.
Yes, okay. I'm going. I have to decide which one's going to be. I think it will be. Where's one creature? See, blah blah blah. I'm trying to think if I want to do mirthful. No. What do you guys think? Mirthful or fuming? Fuming, they have advantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn. Mirthful, they can force one creature it can see within 10 feet to make a wisdom save or be charmed for 1 minute. The fuming?
Fuming. We'll go fuming.
I'm just curious how like you just summon this like person. Just like what?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take the fuming. It'll be a fuming Fae creature.
What am I doing here?
Oh, you will be our backup.
You're heading to a sporting event?
Sort of.
Why are these beasts surrounding us?
Because they want to enjoy how much we pummel them in the game.
And you're walking.
I want to use my speech of beast and leaf to communicate with the hyenas around us. And I'll tell them, if you attempt to haunt us, we will kill you.
Twice.
they're like sort of staying on the edges of you. They're not like coming in very close. They're sort of making a circle around you, and every now and then they'll take a few steps in. They'll sniff a little bit. They're mostly trying to actually be behind you, not in front of you. And you can see, like, from the hills and the dunes around, that there's more of them coming and kind of coalescing with the rest of them, or they will.
So seeing Dwin try, I didn't get a long rest in to change up my spells, so I still have Speak with Animals.
Okay.
I am going to cast that. So I can actually speak and understand these hyenas.
They're cackling and laughing, but it's really not it's not the kind of communication you would think it is. It's mostly them communicating its seemingly potential weak spots in your group. You know, legs that are unprotected. You know, spots where people are walking a little more distant so they could be separated, and it's very much prey animals considering the options as they gather numbers.
Yeah, so I have Speak with Animals up, and which means I can speak in kind of in their, and they can understand it, be like, we're not as weak as you assume.
That's not how a hyena would say that.
Oh. How would a hyena? Tell us how would a hyena say it?
Well, I'm not a hyena. Yes, that's how a hyena would do it. All of you hear that from the middle of your party. The back of your
And
party.
I just say, one can summon the sun. Be careful.
I've heard of this. He makes people crazy, guys. I've heard of this. He makes people do crazy things. I think this is just the effects of the heat. But...
No, I break back into common. I just did Speak with Animals like I did the horse, but...
What did you say to them?
I told them we're not as weak as they assume, and one of us can summon down the sun.
I will like bring a firebolt to my hand just so they can see that, flames. Maybe that will add to what she said to them.
They pulled back a little bit. They're being respectful, but you can sense that at some point when they have enough numbers, they will not stay back regardless.
Try to get 8.
You just know it's just a matter of what is that break point that they feel they have enough numbers.
All right.
Yeah,
So are we close to getting?
I don't think this is going to be a conversation, everyone.
So should we just start it now?
Well, is it just desert all around us? Any rock or anything?
There's rocks. Where you're at now, it's mostly deserts. It's mostly desert and cactus here. There's rock off to in the distance towards the bluffs where you had come down from.
Well, I guess it's suppose where do you want to throw it out? Do we want to start whacking them here?
Well, are the hyenas collecting up and behind us?
Yeah.
If
Where
they
are
are
they
in a
most
tight
at?
enough.
Yeah, so we know where to eat for you to target or for me to target because you got the moonbeam, right?
Well, that does 5 feet. I was going to just entrap them in a wind wall.
Nice.
Ooh.
So if they were...
And they're small, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't even get like the roll, right? They get knocked back. Period. Isn't that what it was before? Something like that.
Yeah, because
Tiny creatures.
it's not the red cap from like getting us back.
Yeah,
in the,
small creatures, especially if they're flying creatures or objects, can't pass through.
You could push them back one direction, and I could drop fireballs on them in the front.
They're medium.
Hyenas
are medium size.
Damn,
But
those are big ass hyenas.
Yeah, they'll still get hurt though if they jump through it.
Yeah.
And at least it may startle them, and we're in a desert, so all the sand will get in their eyes.
They're about 2 to 3 feet tall at the shoulder.
Yeah, hyenas are not small things.
Yeah, and they weigh they're like mastiffs. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, like 98 to 140.
Remember, put 2 or 3 of them together, and they'll try and kill a lion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many?
Not 2 or
around us
3,
this-
more like 5. But Huh?
How many are around us at this point?
Probably 6 or 7 at the moment. Kind of walking like staggered around, with you, but some of them are walking kind of sideways and kind of sniffing in, and they'll duck. They'll put the nose a little closer and see if there's a reaction.
I mean, I might just throw a firebolt at one of them, just to let them feel some pain and push them back.
Eldritch Blast one of them. If I see him throw something, I'll throw something too.
We need to do something, or they're going to keep getting more and more numbers around us.
Eldritch Blast them. I'm going to do 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Firebolt as well.
Are we close to
Ew.
the...
Yeah, you're starting to get to the edge of the hill that they were gathering at the top of, and you're ahead of the rest of the group. And as you start going up the hill, you see one standing at the top of the hill that looks like this. Hold on. And there's like smoke coming from its amulet, and it has like a blind eye or something. And one thing that stands out is it has like a wrist area that's covered in, you think it's teeth? Like human teeth?
Oh, horrifying.
Or humanoid teeth. And it's sort of up there, and there's a bunch of ones that look like the one I'd shown a little while ago that are all around it. And this one turns away from all of you and heads back over the hill, and the rest of the soldiery ones start coming down with swords or scimitars and spears. You know that those scimitars that they have these cuts in them that make them especially nasty against flesh, but not particularly good against metal. They tend to break against metals more than they should. It weakens them against that stuff, but against unprotected, like unarmored stuff, those scimitars are just very nasty.
Does a 17 hit one of those?
Yeah, I got an 18 and a 23.
Yeah,
Right,
it
Eldritch
hits.
Blast.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Right.
Ooh, nice. I did
9 on one, and I did 8 on the other.
I did 15 on mine.
Well, I still did more of you, but add 2 together, so.
Yeah.
So one of them, the one that got the 15 goes down. The other 2 get singed really bad, and they back away, and others kind of back away with them when they see one of them get killed and the other 2 hurt. They move back pretty quickly, but they don't disappear, and they still wait for more. They just move back and create space.
I'd hit him again. I'll keep hitting him with Eldritch Blast. They want to play this game.
As we do this, do we notice the ones that Jada sees coming down the hill?
So Jada, you see them coming down the hill. Can you make me a perception check?
14.
14. Okay. So there's like maybe 6 or 7 coming straight towards you, but you hear more of them up on the hill. You don't know how many, but there's definitely more than this.
If they get close enough to me, I would like to Misty Step past them and go after the apparent leader, or the one that I saw who's heading down the hill.
He was heading up over the hill to where he was not as visible. Not he, she. It's a she, actually. Where she's not as visible. Actually, you would know that almost all of these are she's. It's a matriarchal society, not patriarchal.
Oh, cool.
It's almost all females.
That's how hyenas are.
Yep.
Sick.
You always have
The males are mostly useless.
Hey, well, that's how we get more of them at least, so not completely useless.
They're there for a function, but that's about the extent of it.
So I guess after Vesryn and Hipley did their spells.
Yeah.
I'll keep doing it. I'll keep Eldritch Blast.
So can I get initiative rolls?
Yeah, I was just saying.
It may be time for that.
Ooh, that's a 20 plus something.
Nice.
24.
13.
13 for me as well.
15. 15.
I got like a 6.
Hold on, let me get your
24.
numbers. So, Cerridwen, what'd you get?
6.
Okay. Jada?
13.
Hipley?
24.
24, wow. Desus?
15.
Vesryn?
13.
And your Fae?
The Fae goes at the same time as me, but directly after my turn, according to the spell.
Okay, so it's also 13B.
But there's not a skill can like give someone like your initiative. That'd be nice.
And by the way, I get to determine what the Fae looks like. Because
Awesome.
it says, you know, I can decide it's like a Fae-like creature. It looks like what's his name? The very first Fae creature I met, who I made a deal with from season 1.
The Quickling.
It looks like a Quickling, yeah. He looks like a little Quickling dude.
Okay. Without the speed.
Yeah, doesn't have the speed. It just has its normal stats.
Give me 1 second. I have to get something.
I'm thinking I should.
We're about to get eaten.
Yeah, probably. Maybe one or... I mean, they don't need to eat all of you.
True.
Yeah.
Okay,
speak for yourself. I'm not.
Okay. Well,
There's
I'm
only
thinking about doing Blade Song and then turning it into a giant ape.
there's only one of you guaranteed not to be eaten.
Yeah.
But I'll be very sad if you get eaten. So.
Yeah.
well, because of the bad case of indigestion, so jokes on them.
I mean, I still have most of my spells. So.
What happened?
I still have most of my spells.
I have none except for cantrips, so we're good.
Oh, hang on.
Well, when you've got a short rest, you would have gotten a short rest in by there, wouldn't you? I mean, as long as we were in there.
Yeah, we're in there for at least 4 hours because you got your rest off.
Don't warlocks get their spells back after a short rest?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you can also
Bruh.
you can roll for hit point dice.
Oh, snoop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then.
I mean, Scott, would we have gotten at least a short rest? I mean, I know I got my long one, but I'm assuming 4
Yeah.
hours plus.
Yeah, you could have gotten a short end.
Okay, hitting that short rest.
Short rest button. Take a short rest.
Whew. That should help us a little bit.
Yep. It's like, oh no, my wild chips.
And I'll use some hit die on that short rest too, I guess, because it reduced hit die anyways. Damn.
Oh yeah, you got hurt during that cave walk.
A little bit. Let's use 3. Yeah. Did it do it?
All right. Yeah. I think I know what my first 2 rounds are going to be.
Okay. So... Oh, let me roll there.
I'm back at full health.
Yay!
Nick.
Have your 10th hit too.
Oh yes, the 8. Oh, that's why I showed 75. Okay, I get it now.
Never mind. I can't do what I wanted to do.
All right,
I'll lose
so
my faith if I do.
Jada, even though you're not the highest in the order, I do want to explain what's happening up there because it's not exactly the same fight at the moment. Mm-hmm. You have enough distance that things would have to close before it could turn into one. But they're coming over the hill, and you immediately realize that they're coming down the hill, and right behind them there are more. And you realize they're coming down the hill across like the whole top of the ridge, not just where you are. So as they're coming down, they're spreading out, and they're coming armed and shielded. They're carrying shields. That's what was on their back, was a shield. And you don't know how many there are, but there's at least 20 of them. Plus the hyenas.
We don't have to kill them all, just enough. Well, we might actually have to kill them all, because you said they will chase until they die.
Yeah, it's just so worse.
Yeah.
Jesus. Alright, well.
I will call out. We just want to talk.
Can I help with that? Because I can help them with that.
And you hear from somewhere over the ridge, they want to talk. Eat all of them but the metal. Then we'll talk. And they start coming over the hill with swords out. But hey, they do want to talk to you.
I turn around. They don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Fun, we tried.
Yeah, I tried.
All right. Hipley, 24.
I guess, do I see like the leader's one out there? I mean, how far away is like the leader's one? I guess. So go to find that if I can see that one. Try to get within 90 feet of the one I think is like the leaderish one, if I can tell.
Well, the leader one you can't see. They're up on the top of the hill somewhere.
So she's like a billion, just like at that, like staying up like the top of the hill.
How do you want to get to the top of the hill?
No, I said, do I see like so? I just
Oh, you see them starting to roll over the ridge, like they're coming over the hill. Hold on, let me move some of them in. Oh, my mouse went too far, so you can see where they're. 1, 2. They're doing this kind of a thing where they're kind of spreading out, and you can kind of see them. I'm going to turn off the fog since you don't really need it.
As I say, I just see a screen.
It was all grayed.
I was like,
And they're just sort of really spreading out everywhere, and they're just coming in sort of a mass. They're in some cases they're jumbling up, but in most cases they're trying to stay enough apart.
I think you had them hidden. I just see our tokens. Are the monsters visible?
They are on the stream.
Oh, you can't see them.
Shard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're on the stream. So this is all of you coming to the hill. I'll spread you out enough that I can see you. And actually, Jada would be in front. Everybody else would be back. Back further than that, 'cause you're 45 away at least.
Get him, Jada.
So, like that's Jada.
Vesryn would have been in front of them.
What?
Because Vesryn would be in front of the group right there. He wouldn't be in the very back.
Oh, okay.
Because I do generally run up in the combat with Jada, so.
All right. You guys can control yourselves.
Control yourself.
So, there's a lot of them. And there are hyenas behind you. And the hyenas, when they see the Zavoas start running, like charging towards you, they start cackling really loudly. It's very obvious that they work together enough that they know what each other's maneuvers are. And they see you as only, 6 people against all of them, and makes no sense to wait. Feast is on.
Well, I'll pick up a random one and cast hex on like a random one I just see in front of me.
Okay.
Just cast hex on both of them.
Can we actually see them? Because I know on our map we don't see them.
They're coming over the ridge. You can see them coming over the ridge at this point. Enough.
Well, actually, no, I'll cast. No, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cast. Who's next to me? Shoot. Yeah, I'm going to cast. Dang it, I want to get on. How far away is Jada from us again? They are.
Well, she was initially 45 feet, but she's closer now because you guys are starting to move up, and they're starting to push her back. Or I mean, as far as she can, as she needs to go.
So I'm gonna tap Vesryn, give Vesryn fly. I'm gonna run over to Jada and give Jada fly, because I can get it on 2 people. So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna tap Vesryn on the back, run over and tap Jada on the back, and give them fly.
Ooh,
That's my
fly and blade song.
So you're running all the way up to Jada?
Yeah, because I want to give Jada fly. So I'm like, I don't know who to give fly. Vesryn, Jada, they go out there and think.
Oh, I mean, I can't stop you. I was just saying, you should give it to yourself and give it to her. Especially if you're running up there.
2, 3, 4. You could get exactly there. That's 30. You have a 30 movement, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, is it hard terrain though? Because it's sand. I mean, would that make it difficult?
It's not sand there. It's sand where they're at. It's hard ground here.
I'm still winded like it's sand.
No, they're on the sand, actually. They're on a big, like a rolling dune, and you're on the edge of the desert, the dune desert. Okay, so you run up, you cast fly, touch Vesryn, and continue on to Jada. And Jada, you feel someone touch you from behind as you see these things coming over the hill.
Maybe that will scare them seeing us fly. That would be kind of terrifying. They'll be.
I don't think they'll care.
Well, I tried. Okay.
So 15 is Desus.
All right. I'll nudge a little closer over. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to stick with my wind wall plan to at least delay the hyenas. So I'll do, because I can do a 50-foot wall, so I'll do kind of like a U shape, circling the group behind us to block us off from the hyena packs.
Oh, nice.
That way it kind of has to force them back around. And if they do try and jump through the wall, at least they'll cause them damage and they might die from it.
When you cast that, do you need to maintain concentration?
It is a concentration spell.
Okay.
And I'm concentrating too.
Do you need to maintain concentration for them to fly?
Yeah, don't fly too. Don't get too high, guys.
So I'm concentrating on wind wall.
Your wall goes up.
And as my bonus action, I will pop my Javelist Starry Form, so there'll also be at least 10 feet of dim light coming off me.
Okay. Nice. All right.
You might be able to make a spell token of it if you want. So you can put it on the map where you want. Because I'm about to make my fireball spell token just so I have it ready.
Jada, what's your and Vesryn's dex?
My dex is a 16.
Is a not 16, 14.
Okay, Vesryn, you and your Fae are next.
All right, that was much faster than I intended. All right.
You got 60 fly speed now too, by the way, 60 feet.
All right, so this is I'm looking at the thing on there and trying to see where I'm gonna so I can try to get as many. Nope.
Sorry, I was moving my screen. I'm sorry.
I get the most.
I'm trying to get the most out. Yeah, I'm trying to look, but it's taking a minute to load. So I'm trying to see. I think that might be about the best right there. Actually, I think if I move it over a little bit more, I can get more on the other side there. Let me see. Sorry. It's either... No, I think it was better where it was at, right there. Sorry. All right. Sorry, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fly up into the... just enough to where I can get a good look at them. Okay. I don't know how high would that need to be for me?
To get a good look
10,
for them,
20
they're
feet in the air? How
yeah.
high?
The dune is about 15 or 20 feet high at its peak. So you could go up 20 feet and you'd be high enough to see the top edge of the dune.
All right. So I'm trying to move it over a little bit more. I'm going to fly up, putting Blade Song on myself to increase my armor class, so it makes it harder for me to be hit.
Yeah.
And then I am going to throw a fireball. Again, I'm just trying to get lined up because I can't see the tokens. Does that connect those 3 right there on the edge?
Yes.
Is it touching them? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So then, yeah, that is where I will drop the
So-
fireball.
A fireball goes off. Let me see there.
Oh, yeah.
First one fails.
That should also route them.
Fails. Makes.
I got to pull out more more dice.
I love that feeling.
Yes, it's a good feeling. 8d6. All right.
We're gonna eat them, show them, like, what do you guys for dinner? Well, now we're just getting eaten.
Wow. All right. That's great. Not so great. Great. All right. I actually had some good rolls there. I rolled 3 6s and then a bunch of 2s and 3s. So let's see here. And 1 5. So let's see here. 6 is 12. And then this will be let me put that back to 2 so I don't mess it up. So that's 10. That's 22.
Okay.
25. 30. 33 points of damage.
Okay. Another
Pretty good.
So 5 of them leap away and make their decks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leap them as, close enough. 3, 4, 5. The rest of them are killed in the middle of
Yes,
that.
boy.
And those ones take, the ones that leaped away, they take like 17 points of damage.
Yeah.
Do they look pretty hurt from that?
They look hurt and angry.
So it happens. Gave him a chance.
Yep. They're not used to adventurers coming through the desert. They're more used to caravans.
I'll remove the fireball so that way it's not just sitting on there.
Okay.
The book clubs come to town.
What is your Fae doing?
My Fae is going to move up. We got to go over and look at his thing for my thing here. They're going to move up. They have a speed of 40. I don't have
nice.
a token for him, so.
Oh. Let me put a token for something. What?
There is also not a token for Cerridwen.
Cerridwen's
Oh my
there.
God.
Where?
I don't see Dwayne.
Yeah, the players don't see her.
Yeah, you hit her from us.
Did I?
Dwayne, where did you go? Where did I
I'm
get
just
from
like, I only see 4.
Oh.
Visibility.
Are you
No,
saying? Are you
weren't.
saying you now?
Hey, you're there. Okay.
Oh yeah, you were there. Sorry, it was hidden. You're right.
I mean, Dwayne can go invisible. Isn't that like a feature or something, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's a
technically,
ritual. Yeah.
you were just chilling, just like, nope.
It's called face step.
The one right there in the front, that was one of the ones that jumped out on the. I'm trying to see if it's like over here. I can't see. It could be anything. I don't even care if it has a picture.
I'll put a closet there.
That'll work. They're ugly and annoying, so that's fine.
Yeah.
The quicklings are not cute.
They're pretty funny looking, yeah.
Yeah, they're not cute, and they're pretty annoying. So
I mean, there's some nice closets out there.
I've met a few nice closets.
You have?
Okay, got him.
Let's see here.
Did it? Where is that closet?
It didn't drop. So, let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to think here. I think that one is right there. There you go.
Where
I
is...
see it on the list at the top.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it... Oh, there it is.
Oh, they're all hidden from us. I can
Yeah,
see
I'm going
that,
to show it.
There he is. Perfect. I would assume he would have been next to me. Am I able to move him?
Yeah, you can move him. I think you are allowed. Let me see if you can.
It's not letting me.
Oh.
I would have.
Set as friend. Now it's set as friend. Now see if you can move it.
Nope, still won't let me move it.
What the heck?
All I can do is move the screen when I click around him.
Okay, where do you want it to go to?
Let's see here. This one right, I think it's here. Is there one right there, or did I get it off by one spot?
You want it to go over there?
Well, isn't that one of the ones that dodged it? That guy right there?
Yes, those two both.
So all right. So yeah, I'm going to send him there to try to engage them, because he can move 40 feet, and then he also has an ability, I think it's as a bonus action, to face step.
Okay, what can it do?
A face step. Can teleport up to 30 feet.
Yeah.
So I will have him face step. Yeah, bonus action. It's one of its bonus actions. And the first attack on that front one right there, the Fae will have an advantage on. It has advantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn.
Okay.
And
nice.
He will attack with a short sword, because that's what he has. So, first attack, and he gets 2 attacks. Does a 15 hit? That was with advantage.
Yes, a 15 hits.
Okay. All right, so that would be 1d6 plus 3 plus 1d6 force damage. Nice. So that'd be 9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage. The first one.
And it drops.
And then I rolled a natural 19 with the second attack that it gets on the second one. And another 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 points of damage to the second one.
Okay.
As I kind of imagine him, even though
that one drops also.
I kind of imagine him still moving like the quickly zipping in, cutting, and then, and that will be the end of Vesryn and Quickie. Quickie is what I'll call him.
Yep.
Quickie's turn.
All right. So that was Jada.
Okay. So I got a couple things I want to do. First, which 1, 2, 3, 4 is this guy right here? Did I ping him right?
I saw the one you pinged.
Yeah. Is that the one that leapt out of the way as well?
Yes.
I thought I saw that. Okay. I'm gonna fling a scorching ray at him. But I'm gonna do this one at a time because I don't want to waste all of them on him.
Okay.
Her. Excuse me.
Yes, her.
And I'm going to give no, I won't. We'll just go for it. Dirty 20.
That's a hit.
Okay. 9 points of fire damage.
Okay.
How's it looking? How's she looking?
She is looking very badly singed and hanging on for dear life.
One more to her.
There you go.
16 to hit.
16 hits.
Hell yes.
Another one bites the dust.
Overkill. 12 points of fire damage.
It drops.
Was that the leader?
No.
No.
No, darn it. Jeez, I was like, oh, did you get her? Did you get her?
No. And then was there another one near the one I did that also left out of the way?
Yes, there's one more there that did.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta mark that one as killed.
I'll aim my last one to her.
Okay.
I hope you get max damage again.
That'd be nice. Oh no, I rolled a 1.
Yeah,
that's not gonna work.
All right.
And then I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your turn. There you go.
Da, 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 da. Hold on, I have to mark this off.
Oh, you're singing to us. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I just imagine as Jay's like firing firebolts, just like da 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 da. Just like humming and singing a song, all like this is fun, just picking off.
And Dwayne can join in. Dwayne accompany. Oh man.
Okay.
We all just start singing along.
That would scare them. I'd be intimidated.
I'd be like,
Get 'em
they're singing as a
blasted,
slaughter.
They're singing while they're slaughtering us. And it's a calm singing, you know, not even like
lullaby.
Yeah. Couple things. I'm going to cast Booming Blade on my Rope Dart on Viper's Kiss.
Nice.
And the one directly in front of me, I'm going to flip out my dart. And I'm going to use my... What is it called?
Oh, to make it go further? To make the distance?
No, I'm going to use... Oh my gosh, what's it called?
Attack?
Nope. Fighting Spirit. There it is. To give myself advantage.
Okay.
That's bonus action. Cool. Sick! Cool! Where's my D20s? Hello?
You definitely need those.
Stole them.
Blind? Okay.
I stole them. Vesryn uses magic and stole them.
Okay.
Come on, nat 20, come on.
Not nat 20, but I did get how do I do math? 18.
That hits.
I forget to. You're okay.
Okay. So what is that? D8, 2D8. It's not a D8.
I want to dip in fighters so bad for action surge.
Just want to dip into all of them. You want to get to rogue. We're just going to dip into all of them, I feel like, eventually.
Okay, so 10 magical slashing. 10 magical slashing and 2 math words? Hello? Lightning damage. There we go. Forbidding Blade. And then if that one moves, it'll take an extra 2.
It moves to the ground dead.
Okay.
Its body gets an extra 2d8 damage.
Yep, on the way down.
Okay. Yeah, and then Jay just kind of looks at it and pulls back their rope dart like, these aren't as hard as last time.
So, let me do this.
Man.
Over in the middle of the group, like right about there where Cerridwen is. Oh, no, I'm not trying to do damage to you. You see this from the hill over on the right, this flame shoot down and go.
Hold on. Wait. Can I see where this is coming? Because I'm 20 feet in the air.
You are. You can see that there's
counter spell.
Okay.
So I was going to try to do it too if I could see it as well. So we really got it.
What level are you using it at?
I would be casting it at 3rd level.
Yeah. Okay.
If I saw it too, I'd try to kind of do it as well.
You can't see the
Once you load
creature
around,
doing it.
Can I amend my turn? Amend. Can I add something to my turn? I forgot that I can fly. I would like to just fly straight up at the end of my turn.
I was
Okay.
going to say, yeah, 60 feet of fly speed, by the way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can fly.
I forgot about that. I
You
do
get
not want to
distance.
be. I do not want to be surrounded by these people.
Do I need? Yeah, I know, right? Do I need a roll or?
Hold on. I have to see something on her.
I'll just roll just to be on the safe so I can tell you what it is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I rolled a natural 16, so plus my spell modifier, right? Which would be dirty 20. So I'm fairly certain, unless she's casting at some crazy high ass level,
Ninth level.
right?
Scared. Fear.
It fizzles. Then, and when that happens,
Can I blow her a kiss?
That's so rude.
there's
Yeah.
That's so disrespectful.
That's the point.
wink.
Vesryn's like that to his enemy casters. He's a dick.
and then
Looks
from
like that.
from over in that same clump, you start seeing spears throwing up towards you, Vesryn.
Armor
What's your
class.
AC?
Bob and weave.
Right now, my armor class is, and I can't use shield because I already used counterspell. Is a 20. That's my armor class right now. 20.
Okay. 3 misses.
Oh my god.
And 1 hit. Got 1 spear.
Oh,
Okay.
is that what pain feels like? This sucks.
Feels good.
It's how you learn, Vesryn. It's how you learn.
Throw it back at him.
Right? Can I monk this shit?
And you take 7 points of damage from a spear thrown from that clump to the right. On the left, though, Jada, you see one of them come from the center of the group and start yelling out, and the other ones start following behind, and this one leaps over the edge and tries to throw a spear at you, trying to get like muscle. How far does your flight allow you to go? How far up are you?
60.
So you're right at the very end of the range. No, I thought it was a 20. It was a 10. It's like, wow, that would have been impressive. It did not hit. And the one that did that when she comes down, the other ones that were around surround and start heading down the hill towards your friends. From up above the hill, the rest of you see 6 of these Zavoas coming towards the center of your circle. When you start moving them around, because they're not going to just. Oh,
So stand there and take me.
Hippie's actually right there. One at least or 2 are going to stop at Hipley.
There goes Fly. Alright, hope we get some flights high in the air, so.
Question, Scott, because I don't know where she is on there. I don't see her on the map. How far away is she from us?
How far away is who?
The caster.
The caster from where you are is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 14 hexes, so 70 feet.
Then I would not have been able to cast Counterspell. I will be fair, because Counterspell only goes out to 60 feet. I just couldn't see on the map. I assumed I was able to do
Was
it.
that,
So
was that not a different caster?
I didn't know where she was. He said he was casting it. I assumed she was with range, but I would not have cast that then, since I wouldn't have been able to.
Were there 2 casters, Scott?
No,
Okay.
but there are 2 people, 2 Zavoas of importance.
Sorry, guys. I have to play fair.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
So I don't want anybody to get hit by fireballs, but I gotta play fair.
So in the centered on Cerridwen, it would hit Cerridwen. Actually, Vesryn, you're in range too.
In the air too.
And
I'm
Desis,
in
how
the
high
air.
are you up?
I was about 20, I think 20 feet is what I said. Because I was above, I might have been higher because I had to be high enough to look over
To see.
the ridge.
Yeah. No, because it would hit near the ground. So it would only hit Cerridwen and Desis. So can you make deck saves?
Yep.
Sorry, guys.
No, apologize.
Nope.
You're good. Don't apologize, bro.
What is the hell's that your fault?
That's a nat 1, so that's 5.
Ooh.
Now I feel
got a
really
5 as
bad.
well.
I feel really bad. Oh, no.
Wow.
The 2 people that can heal.
Okay.
No, I can
Bueno.
heal.
I'm
I
pretty,
can heal once. I can heal once.
I'm pretty hardy. So.
With Mave.
I got a decent health pool.
Yeah. Just go. It's one fireball. It's not that big of a deal.
Wild shape. Just wild shape. You'll be fine.
I'm
Here's a bunch of
already
extra
in my starry form.
Oh. Does that give you extra hit points too?
No.
Sorry, form?
Okay.
No.
So
But,
if you failed, you take 29.
Ouch. I feel like I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just
If you-
left
if
it.
you made it-
I'm a fair player. I'm a fair player.
Dude, there's no. Come on now, it's fine.
I know.
Yeah.
I know you guys aren't like, but I just like, I feel like that kid in class, like, you didn't give us homework.
God, shut up.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm that kid right now.
So on the other side, though, Hipley, you have these Zavoas get right up on you with their
All right.
weapons.
Well,
What's your AC?
Oh,
not high, 14. So
They could miss. Well, one of them
Oh, I
did
gotta
miss.
roll.
One of them hit, one missed.
I gotta roll a. Ooh. Yep, y'all ain't flying no more. What is it? Is it D20 rate plus what? Plus my spell modifier for
Well,
concentration?
no, you weren't hit with the spell. You're being hit by a sword.
Well, no, but I gotta concentrate. So
yeah.
what's that? It's a D. What's a DC? If again, I
It's
forget.
Constitution.
you have to.
does it
You have to-
concentration check?
So then I get
Concentration.
advantage. If it's
Yeah.
if it's Constitution, because Twin did give us.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it would be an advantage, right?
Okay. Do add. Oh, it's the Constitution. Okay. Well, it's still gonna be 10 plus. Con save.
Isn't it like, I think the base is 10 or something like that, unless it's like a certain amount of points over than it
Oh,
goes.
you.
Yeah.
So okay, so I got to roll a 10, so then I'm good. So you guys still fly for now. Okay.
Okay.
You must make a Constitution saving throw. The difficulty, the DC for the concentration check equals 10 or half the damage you take, whatever is higher.
Okay.
Okay. If
So
the
I
damage is
did make
higher
my
than 10.
concentration as well.
So 13. That's hopefully I
So
won't
half
take.
of 13 is like.
We all have to do it because I took damage from the spear, so I got to roll mine to keep the Fey up. I rolled a natural 18. Okay, my Fey's still there.
Okay.
How much damage am I taking? This isn't. The weight is making me like.
Yeah, that would determine if you succeed or fail. Really. What was your total?
13.
13.
You're taking 9 points of damage from
I'll be
the,
good.
from the scimitar.
And thank you, Glenn, for the advantage plus temporary hit points too.
Yeah, I maintain concentration too.
And
I rolled
Sweet.
18.
then the others are continuing down the hill, and there's dead bodies up there in the
I'm
middle.
surrounded. I just looked at the stream. I was like, oh, there's a couple. Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus. Okay.
and a couple of these are going after your Fae.
Yeah. Let me go look at his stats so I can tell you
Hold on.
what you need to know. The Fae's armor class is going to be armor class 12 plus the level of the spell. Third, so armor class 15. And then 30, 40. It's 40 hit points is what it has.
Okay. 2 of them attack. What did you say the AC was?
15.
Okay, so 1 hit,
Higher than my AC.
1 of the 2 hits
I'm gonna
for 7 points with the
Alright,
sword.
So they're down to 33 hit points. I'm gonna mark that over here.
We haven't not gotten to Cerridwen and the hyenas, who are actually going after 6. So sad.
Oh, okay, so it's me. Alright. So, did I see the caster that hit me with Fireball?
The caster's at the top of the ridge on the far right.
Okay, is it over by the Fae?
It is right here.
Boop. Okay, that's...
Let's see it.
Alright, so it's over there.
That's not too far.
That's 50 feet. Okay, cool. Who is by the caster? Is the caster alone? Do they have guards?
No, it has 3 other Zavoas right around it, and 1 to the left, 2 of them in front. And then there's 3 or 4 more coming up. They're not quite near it, but coming up on the lower ground.
Okay. And Vesryn, you're fighting what?
I'm in the air right now. I'm not engaged with anything yet, but I'm about to go engage with that. You see me looking at that caster.
Okay, so I'm going to target one of the Zavoas. The Zavoa to the left of the caster. I will target that guy. And I will cast Dissonant Whispers on that one. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. Hold on, I'm going to center you in the screen. Okay. Oh, wisdom? Ew.
But they're not very wise.
Oh, that's a fail.
Okay. So it is going to take. Okay, well, it's going to take. This is just at first level. We will consider this. But it's going to take. Oh, it takes 3d6. Okay. 3d6 damage. Ooh, okay, that's 13 points of damage, and it has to use its movement to walk away. Just use all of its movement to go
To head
away,
right.
away from me.
Okay.
And then I will use my bonus action. So for the Dissonant Whispers, she has her flute that she's playing, will penny whistle. She uses. Initially, it sounds kind of nice, and then she kind of like dips into like microtonal notes. And so it sounds really foreign to anyone who's not used to, anything apart from Western music. And then it turns into just this blare. It just sends it over, thinking exactly of that Zavo. After the spell concludes, she'll turn to Hipley and start playing. As you're inspired.
Yes. That's awesome. All right.
Okay, so that's what I can do. And I will. This orange stuff is the wind wall, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. She's just gonna step a little closer to the wind wall. That's it. I'm good.
So the wind wall is actually not visible, right? It's just
They probably see like some at least
Dust.
intense wind happening, but
well, there's
Yeah,
there's
and-
nothing to see moving because you're not really over sand there. You're over. I mean, there's a little bit of dust.
yeah.
There's no trees. Those aren't trees. They're cactuses.
Yeah.
So they're, if anything, they're like swaying a little bit, but that's it.
Well, she'll just kind of like
Yeah.
put her hand out and be like, all right,
So
that's a bit.
How much damage do hyenas take if they try and go through it?
if they try and go through my wind wall, let me break this up here.
When they try and go through it.
3d10.
Okay. So
Dang.
from all the different sides around you, there are hyenas that are starting to try and charge in. So can you roll damage for them? And they have to make a save against the damage?
Yeah, they have to make a strength saving throw. They take the damage on a failed or half on a success.
Okay.
If they fail, they can't get through, right?
Yeah, they pass. They don't go through right if they fail.
So it is 19 bludgeoning damage.
I hope they fail.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay,
We'll get
3
flung.
of 4 actually push through, but then they take half damage from 19.
Yeah.
So they still
10.
die in the wind,
So like,
Dang.
even with making their saves. They're like, they hit it, and it's like maybe they're thrown against the cactuses and stuff like that. They're there, and the other hyenas start to back away a little bit and try and look for other weak areas.
Nice. Your wall's awesome.
We're back to the. Do you have more? No, that was on their turn. So, Hipley, 24.
Oh gosh. Why don't you give me inspiration? I have like nothing good to use of it.
It's mainly to mitigate damage.
Let me go ahead and.
That's right, because you can use yours to mitigate, like, to reduce some of the damage, right?
Oh, good. Yeah, definitely do that.
I forgot about that.
So where's the other? So is there one other one they're surrounding come up near us? Is
There,
one come up-
there are 5 around you. One of them can't really reach you directly because there's somebody in between, but 4 of them could
This
definitely
one's like a
swing
leader
you.
though. Which one was like the leader? Is there one near us? Because there's
Yeah.
like a pack coming up.
Yeah, that one is right next to you.
Oh well.
It's
Eldritch Blast that close? I mean,
this
I don't
one.
know. Go ahead to stream. All right. Well, I'll use 2 Eldritch Blasts at that one. I'll take like a step, like to not like give entire opportunity, but enough space where I can use Eldritch Blast on them. I mean, it's magic, so I guess it doesn't matter. So use 2 of them on it then.
Pew pew.
Yeah, it's a pew pew.
Yeah. Well, one will hit. One's a 18. That one's a. Yeah. It's not that high. One's gonna be a. What is that? 11. So one's looks like an hit, but I do 18 and die for the other one. So it'll be 10 points of damage for that one. And 7. So 7 points of damage on that one.
Yeah.
And then that will end my turn. So if I move, I don't want to get all those attacks opportunities, so I'll just stay in this wonderful company.
That was a brave thing to do.
Well, I mean, other than moving it.
I understand why. It's still a brave thing to stand there.
I'm talking to him too
And
much,
not take
so
all
I mean,
those.
I'm going to talk to him like, so we don't have to do this, okay? Like, we can all just read a nice book or something. I mean, it's
Yeah.
time to come to blows, so. Okay, no? Okay, well, I tried. And now my turn.
Jesus.
all right. I gonna just take a little drop of water from my water skin and flick it forward as I cast a tidal wave, and just explodes in a rush of water. And I'm gonna have it scoop around right in front of Hipley to try and hit all those men that are getting all around him.
Yeah.
How much control do you have over that? How
I think
accurate
it's
is that?
fine.
It's a 30 feet long, up to 10 feet wide, 10 foot tall. Each
Okay.
creature in the area must make a dexterity saving throw. So probably a line. If I do a line, I wouldn't be able to hit all of them, but I can get most of them out of the way, at least without hitting Hipley.
Yeah, you could
Yeah, you
get
could get
3
those
of the
3.
5 that way. Maybe 4 if you were like. So I want to know how accurate. How does the spell determine your accuracy with that line? That's
And I failed my dex save. I just rolled just in case.
Blah.
So, if we get hit, it's fine though. I mean, we're getting hit by water, we get hit by one of them, so.
Yeah, the
Here's
tags are
one.
just damage and control. It doesn't say
Doesn't have any
like
kind of
I can
control.
with the wind walls.
Okay. So you could get 3, or if you want to get the other 1 or 2, you would also get Hipley.
Fine. We can put
Jade
that
is
in-
there. I'll get the 3.
Okay. So that what they get deck saves or con saves?
Deck saves, and I roll 4d8.
1 save, 2 fails.
Okay, so they take full. The ones that fail take full damage and get knocked prone, and the other creature takes half as much.
Okay.
So 8 plus 8,
Dang, and on the
16, 21, 25 bludgeoning damage.
Dang.
Which means they're perfect for you to start poking at them.
Yeah, Jada. Yeah, because I don't know if we even have like a sharp weapon. Just as we look angry, like if you had the dagger, you could just stab them.
Well, it actually wouldn't really matter because they'll have their turn to get up before you get to go again.
That's a good
How
point.
far are they pushed, or are they just prone?
They just get knocked prone. I will
Okay.
read that. Yeah, they don't get pushed. They just get knocked prone and are very, very wet.
Does the wave just come over like Hipley as it's like coming up or from
Yeah,
the
just
other
like,
way? This is
whoosh.
like, whoosh, like, what is a shadow? What the?
Hey, you get a shower in the middle of the night, in the middle
Yeah.
of the desert.
I imagine like Free Willy with the whale like jumping over, just like.
Okay. So those 3 are prone.
How much damage do they take?
The
It was 25,
25.
bludgeoning.
in 12. One of them took 12.
Yeah.
And Hipley, you feel like your
I'm wet. This is
your
cool.
flank is not so dangerous anymore. Although it is, it is desert, so the water's probably good.
Oh, making a whole bunch of mud.
Vesryn.
Oh, I saw my bonus action.
Oh, you have a bonus action, right?
So they're all still other than the ones that knocked prone, but they're all still alive.
Yes.
All right, then I will bonus action throw my javelin at the one that's saved.
Okay.
I don't think that's a hit because that is plus my bonus. That's only a 13.
Yeah, it's a miss.
Well, now Hippo,
Oh, no,
there's
not-
a javelin.
not- Huh?
I said, Hippo, there's a javelin right next to you. You can pick up and fight with.
True. You become the javelinist.
Beaming starry just javelin.
You guys didn't know I took a class of barbarian. Well,
All right.
The wisest barbarian we'll ever meet.
Yeah. And let's see. Thesis, then Vesryn. And your Fae.
Vesryn does clock what's going on over there with Hipley, and he does show a little bit concerned. But with Desus hitting them with the wave, they look pretty battered at this point, right? Those.
3 of the 5 do.
And he's going to trust that Jada and them can handle it. And he's going to turn his gaze right back to that caster that shot that fireball at his friends. And how far away is she again from me?
From you?
He said it was like 70,
Yep.
which I can counter. I will Misty Step 30 feet.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
you got that
5,
60 last week too.
8,
So I mean,
9, 10.
I know. But I want to
Actually, now
she's moved up.
they're 50 from you because the 30 your range was lower than 50. No, they were 70 before. Did you move?
Yeah. I did not move, no.
May move them on their turn.
Oh,
So
they
that was
moved on their
after him.
turn. Yeah, they're 50 now.
Okay. So,
She's 50.
Well, then I won't use the Misty Step. I'll save that for later. I will fly because I can fly 60 feet.
Yeah.
And I will drop right on top of her. And I'm going to start swinging some swords. Mave Soleta. Oh. No, and I'm going to try to keep her. Is it? I don't know. I thought you said her. It could be a he, but whatever.
Her.
Them.
They're all
I'm
hers.
keeping them. Okay, I'm keeping her occupied. Hopefully that way she can't focus on casting on my friends. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Can I use soul? Is that a bonus action to have soul help? Is it a bonus
Yeah,
action?
it would be a bonus action. It wouldn't be
For soul
it
to
wouldn't be
help.
an
I can't
action,
remember if
don't
that's how
think.
you.
But how? What?
What I'm saying with the familiar is that like if there's a familiar because the familiar gets their stuff as well at the end of my turn, and soul has been out. So I'm saying like would I be able to have soul?
Be like
Give
just
me
tries
the
to
help
fly
action.
around, kind of like
Yeah, around
Yeah,
so I can
that's
get
like-
advantage on them. This caster because I want to try to make sure my hits count. I don't want no more fireballs coming at you guys.
Yeah, it was an ouch.
Yeah. All right. That would be a 16.
A 16 is a hit.
Okay. So with that, boom, 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 the first attack. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points to them. And then because I can use as part of my action due to my stuff as a blade singer, it's called, what is it called? Sorry, I'm trying to find it. It's where I can training in Warn Song, right? No, it's not that one. Sorry. I'm trying to remember which one it is because there's one where I can attack twice instead of once. So whenever you take the attack action on your turn, you can cast one of your cantrips in place of that. So I will cast the booming. No. Yeah, booming blade.
Okay.
Booming blade with the attack. And that was almost a natural 20, but that'll be a 17.
Yep, that's a hit.
All right, so it'll be 1d8 for the weapon, that'll be a 7 points, and then 1d8 for the booming blade, which is another 5. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right?
Yeah.
12 points, 12 more points of damage. So 11 and 12 to this caster.
Okay.
And bonus action. I don't really think I'm going to do anything for a bonus action. Let me see. No, I'll stay right there. I don't need a Misty Step, and that's really the only thing else I can do. So I'll be there dancing in front of them.
Yeah. Let me move you there so we can see where you are.
And then my Fae will focus on one of them because I know that these other ones aren't injured over here.
Actually, right. That's the one.
So, I gotta go back to that spell. I should just have that Fae stats off on the side here. Mm-hmm. So I rolled a 14, and they have a plus. Oh, it's your spell modifier. So it's 14 plus 4, so 18 to hit. And then the second hit would be, I'm pretty sure, a miss. It's a 7.
Yeah, 7's a miss.
And they do 1d6. They do 2d6 points of damage. I didn't realize these Faes can do that kind of damage. They do 1d6 with a +3 with the sword, plus a 1d6 with a force damage with each blow. So nice. 4, 5. So it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7 points of the damage, and then 2 points of force damage for that one hit.
Okay. Okay.
And that will be because they're not moving; they're going to stay engaged.
Yep. Well, some are moving down there that are.
Well, I'm saying my Fae isn't moving. He's staying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look at
Jada.
Okay. I'm gonna do another Scorching Ray, but I'm going to cast it at 3rd level.
Okay.
Yes.
So I can get 4 of them if I can hit them. I'm aiming at. I'm aiming at the ones.
Yeah, I see that line.
Yeah,
I see the line there. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's not going to be good for them.
Yeah, no. And I will. No, I'll just roll these straight.
Are you sure? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, some are prone, right? So someone have.
Yep, there's 2 that are prone.
So.
Would that make it?
Does that mean I roll at disadvantage?
Because it's a ranged attack.
If it's a ranged attack, it is disadvantage.
Yeah. And you're flying, right?
I am flying.
everything's a ranged attack.
Yeah. Well, yes.
You can focus on the ones that aren't laying down.
Yeah.
True. Or hold your action until they stand up, and then instantly go, if possible.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So
I'll do that. I'll hold my action, but I will want to move closer. So I just want to. Well.
There's not much more closer you can move except down.
Yeah, I'll go down. Let's see, I'll go down 20 feet and over 10 feet. Over to the right.
Yeah.
So I want to be more in the middle. Oh, I have
like that.
More than that. I have flying speed.
Yeah, 60 feet of flying speed, so you got plenty of...
Yeah, I want to be here.
Oh.
Oh, I can move myself.
Yeah, you can move yourself.
Good job, Jazz. Well done.
Be in a square.
In a square, yes. Okay. And then, yes, I will hold my action until they stand up.
Okay. Vesryn. The shaman
Shield.
begins casting.
Oh, wait. Shaman's casting?
Yes.
Then I would cast. I would do my counter honor this time.
Okay.
Since I wasn't able to do it last time.
Yeah. The spell is. Hold on. What level is that? I think it's third, so I don't think it's a big deal for you. You're always doing it third.
If it's third, then it just gets canceled out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third or lower.
Yep, it is third. Okay. So that's one spell that gets wasted.
Yeah, but that was bad for me too, so. But I don't know. Is there a way to know what the spell was beforehand? As they were casting?
No.
Okay.
Rip.
I wasn't sure if I could, tell by the casting what they were casting, so.
The amulet that has the smoke rising out of it, she touches it, and the area around you starts filling with fog, like a smoky gray fog. So this area, I need to. How do I add fog here now? Just in that area. I think I can
that
paint
was a
it
dumb
in.
move. It's okay. Go ahead.
There you go. We'll paint it. I don't know if it will do it. I can't paint it that way.
It's fine. At least we know that area's in fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you encircle it.
That
Yeah, we know it's in fog. So.
Yeah. It's now in fog, and visibility is very limited. All right. Over on Hipley, what's your AC?
Well, do they stand up?
Well, the two that are
14.
prone are going to stand up in a moment, but it's not their turn. It's the other one's turn that
It's
isn't
only
knocked
14.
over. All right.
I'm gonna roll my save with advantage.
Well, you're being hit with a weapon.
Well, no, but I still gotta do concentration. But I have
Oh,
pass.
you're right.
I got 18 on the die plus something, so I think I'm more right. Between 21. See, I think I'm good.
Okay. You get hit by the sword, and you take 6 points of damage.
Should it be more since isn't that sword like supposed to
And
be
what's your-
even better?
Yeah. I mean, she rolled bad.
Oh.
And
Okay.
with the another, because this one uses two swords rather than a shield,
Mm-hmm.
you get hit a second time.
Okay. 19 on the die anyway, so I'm not gonna concentrate until it stays up.
So, and you take 6 from that one.
That's fine.
the other ones around you, 2 of them go get up from being prone. One of them that's on you is not prone, and that one's going to also attack. Misses.
Okay.
And then one of them is going to move forward to Desus and attack. What's your AC, Desus?
14.
You get hit. That one was a nat 20, so it hit. You take 8 points
Okay.
from the sword, from a scimitar. These others stay on. Those stay on you. The ones that get up, actually, they're.
Can I attack them?
You can now move and do your thing, Jada.
Okay. One is a 19, natural 19. One is a natural 14. So 19
Yeah,
and 24.
all hits.
Okay, and then 2 more. Nope. No. No and no. So only 2 of them hit. First one takes 7 points of fire damage. Second one takes 10 points of fire damage.
The 2 that were prone go down.
They go prone again, this time like this.
Yeah, they
This time
they go
forever.
they go the worst kind of prone.
They're prone for life.
Okay. Cerridwen.
Okay, so
Oh, I didn't
Is
move. Hold
there-
on, I didn't move some on the other side. I'm sorry. Give me a second. 'cause
okay,
these-
that's fine. So,
So on your Fey creature, what's the AC of that Fey creature?
15.
Thank you. That was
Miss.
the
I got you.
Miss. 2 misses. Jada's flying. Okay, these 2 are going to come back onto Vesryn and try and hit. Vesryn AC is 20 right now.
Yes.
2 misses. And then these 2, 3.
They call themselves
So
fighters.
one of them gets close, gets up to you where they can attack you, Cerridwen. What's your AC?
18.
You get hit.
I always manage to.
You take 7 points of damage. Yeah, they rolled a 19. All right, and now it's you.
Okay, so I am in pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Healing Word at 2nd level, and I'm additionally going to use my feet to twin spell it. So Desus will also get this.
Thank you.
Twins.
Yes, she was I like to think that Dwin was inspired by watching Jada fight. Okay, so 2, 5. Ooh. 5 plus 7, 12 total back.
Nice. That brings me over half at least. That is great.
And then I will attack the hyena that hit me. So I'll roll to hit. That is a 14 to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay, this does not hit it. Okay, that is a dirty 20 to hit with my second attack.
That's a big hit.
Okay, and that would be 8 points of damage.
8 points right back at it. I feel like your first second is just kind of like lulled into like, oh, I think I'm safe, and then bam, come back and get it.
Little
One,
teaser.
like Watch this
Bang.
one
Go
stab.
fate to the left, strike on the left, right. That should be my turn. So.
Yeah. Hyenas start. They're not attacking, they're trying to find ways around.
We're pulling out wins.
They're occupied
Keep
by
them occupied.
that wall.
That's awesome. Clutch.
All right. We're back to the top. So, Hipley, what are you doing before you take damage from being attacked standing there?
Wow. I mean, Eldritch Blast, the one that's. I think it's one for both, but does one look more damage? Oh, I'll do for both. Ew. I don't think either gonna hit. There's a 15, but a 15 hit one of them or no?
15 hits one of them.
Oh, well, one of them hits. That's 6 points of Eldritch Blast damage. It's like this little pages, like this map's like a page, and it's like a very bad paper cut. It's like a shadowy page, just kind of cuts you.
Like it.
Right on the thumb, right? Right on the thumb.
Right on the finger. And it goes slowly, it's not like a fast, like
It's like
oof.
right between the
Oh,
Between the fingers.
Right between the fingers.
Hate that.
That's what it's. Paper cut right there on one of that I hit.
It is very angry now.
Oops.
Good. Not in my turn. That'll be it.
It's going to feast on you first for that.
Give it indigestion. Go ahead. Take a bite.
Damn.
Desus.
Alright.
It's a salty snack there.
All my spells are ranged and I have one on top of me. So I'm just gonna swing my Horizon's hook around. How bad is the one looking in front of me?
It's taking some hits. It's not unscathed.
I wanted to save this spell though for later, but I may. Was it ranged? All my stuff is ranged. That's not fun.
You could try to shove it away.
True.
I am not a strong girl.
You might.
Strong.
If you
Not
have a bonus
strong.
action, you can disengage. A bonus action, do something.
That's a rogue thing. Is bonus action.
Oh yeah.
I will. I haven't done this in the longest time, and I have the pack slot for it. I will armor Agathis myself.
Nice.
Nice.
I think I only used it once, so like this whole campaign. So I armor Agathis myself. So that's my action. So now I just like have the glowing starry light suddenly becomes in this frosting kind of armor. It's like glistening all over. And then
We'll
for
go
my
first
for my bonus action, because this is a feature, not a concentration or anything, I can do this. I'll summon my Reach of the Depths and get my tendril seaweeds up so that they can hit this gnoll or hyena person, woman.
Nice. Okay. So, are you able to? You can't attack with it yet, though, because you.
So as a bonus action,
You can as
the
a
tentacles last 1 minute. When you create it, you can make a melee spell attack against one creature within 10 feet of it.
Okay, so you can
Slap it.
go for
Bop
it.
it.
All right.
Twist
Slap it. Yeah, it's a fun game. I love that game.
Whack it.
That's my challenge. Okay.
All right. Oh, that's a natural 18 plus
Okay.
my spell modifier.
That hits.
Yes. All right. Been a while since I've done damage with this. It is a 1d8. Do-do-do.
I was imagining a giant tentacle coming out of
Ooh,
Victor and stand.
Max damage.
Max
D8
damage.
cold damage
Wait.
on this delightful woman in front of me.
Pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
will drop. I'll make a new token. Make it this color.
How much damage?
Made a circle. 8 total.
8.
And they're chilly.
Yeah, and they're hurting pretty bad. All of a sudden.
And that will be my turn.
Vesryn.
So I'm
And
surrounded
your
in
fae.
fog, and so are they, right?
Yes.
I will fly straight up, about 25 feet in the air. I'm sure they get the attacks, but I'm sure it'll be at disadvantage since we can't see each other, right?
Yep.
I'll take that chance. Go ahead and let them swing at me.
Yep.
Anybody who's taking their reaction to hit me.
Yep. There will be 3. Well, actually, 1 will be a spell. So the 2 attack, 2 misses.
Can she do the spell if she can't see me?
She can see in this fog.
Okay,
Oh, it's from her amulet.
that's fine.
So
Let's see.
actually, she's going to hex you.
That's fine. She can hex me.
She'll just get you ready.
She's not gonna be ready for this. All right,
Yep.
I'm going to go up, and I'm going to drop a 4th level fireball on all of them underneath me.
Hi.
That's what I was waiting for.
I'm playing with
Yeah.
you. It's fun.
And since she used her reaction to hex me,
Yep. She can't.
she
count.
cannot
Yeah.
counter it.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next time.
Snake you in.
Oh, but wait, you're gonna do damage to your fae.
He's
Oh,
not
okay.
real. I summoned him.
Oh, dang. He's not
That is so
really-
I'm
cold.
gonna remember this.
Well,
That
further,
is-
I mean, the spell says you call forth a face spirit and manifest in an unoccupied space. It's just like my familiar. It
Yeah.
pops away. So
Hey, they got feelings too, though.
So cold.
I'm cold-blooded. But you know what? His sacrifice will not be in vain.
I see the face
It's
look.
hot.
I see the face look up. It's like, what are you doing, master?
So he can't even see. He's just like, oh, we're blinded.
He'll assume it was somebody else.
Oh,
it's
someone
okay.
else. Yeah, it wasn't me. I tried to
Alright, so-
save you.
Let me see here. I want to look at the. I'm going to bring that one thing I just did back out. Let's see here. Show token, sphere. It's going to be pick an image, fireball. Perfect. Let's go ahead and drop it out there. Now, I want to try to get all of them that's there. I don't know if you can move it, Scott, but if I can reach,
You can get
Oh,
all
yeah.
of them there.
I don't want, and I want to get the one. Want to bring it down just a little bit further to get that one
I
down
see.
there too.
Yeah, you could adjust a little bit and get that.
Yeah. And that's who I'm hitting. So saving throws.
Yep. 1, 2. Let
Could
me
it
do
be
the
disadvantage
shaman
because of the
first.
fog? I mean, they can't see it coming.
Oh yeah, can't.
Ooh.
Do
The shaman failed. That was not.
Sweet.
Rip.
Yeah, the other
Shaman's
ones actually
dead.
would be a
Jack
disadvantage.
Funeral.
I agree. They'd be a
They can't
disadvantage.
see it coming. They actually screw themselves. Oh my gosh.
That's a
screw.
fail. That should have been not a fail. Oh my god.
And
So okay, so that one's one that made it.
it's 20.
Both of them have rolled a nat 20, but then because of disadvantage lost it.
Dang, she screwed
That's
themselves.
jinx.
She screwed
Fail.
themselves.
35 points of damage.
Failed. Made.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 of them made it. One of them is the one right next to the shaman. One is the one on the very edge. How many points?
35.
35 total.
Okay. The one on the edge had not taken any damage. The other one had
Is
taken
it hot
damage.
out here? No, it's just a fireball.
Oh, I gotta roll for my fade too. Natural 20.
Hey,
But
Hey,
disadvantage
it's still alive.
Good
But
job.
does it-
Oh, yeah, it would
Disadvantage.
be, that's fine. You're right. I'll do it for him as well. The
Natural
second
20.
one's no, it's a 16 plus his whatever his bonuses are. So I'm,
good.
he would save, but he would take, what is it? Half would be 35,
Dang, this
15, 16, 17 again. 17.
guys,
Having
I think
17,
we're
yeah.
eating. I think we're
That's
eating
not
some of these for dinner. So
So
Gross.
this phase about at half at this point.
I think I accidentally killed you.
oh my god, Vesryn, what happened?
Sorry.
He
You're-
falls from the sky.
I blew myself up. Targeted on myself.
Because he-
I know myself. We'll all go together. We'll all die.
Let's see here. So he will be down to.
Come the Human Torch.
Lame on. All right, the Fey Quickling is down to 16 hit points. So.
Actually, the shaman had taken up some damage
before that.
And she did not survive either, even because she took full damage. So the only one that survived is this one out here on the very edge.
And then what I will do, because I used only enough to be out of the range. I still have, 35 movement. And that one that's fleeing,
oh my God.
I will start moving towards him, and then I will Misty Step to make sure that I'm right above him. So that way he is not getting, or she is not getting away.
Okay.
Dang.
They're not going back to warn their people. They are not passing go or collecting $200.
Vesryn is done.
So you're going up there?
Yes. That'll be a total of 65 movement. 35 plus a Misty Step to make sure. Well, then I don't need to. I'll just Misty Step to right there. Oh, you grab the. Is that me or is that the?
That's you, but I accidentally killed you. I was trying to kill one of the other ones, and I didn't realize it was on you.
From my screen, looking at the
you just look like bones.
The twin. It looks like I'm a little Grim Reaper.
Yeah, that's what you look like. And I don't think I can unkill you. Oh no, heal. Can I heal you? How many hit points did you have before?
200.
I was at 47. 47.
You have so many hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I'm like kind of high level.
I love it. Vesryn is done. Vesryn ain't playing around.
Yeah, you look at Vesryn.
Oh, there you are. Now you're healed.
And you guys would have noticed the moment that fireball hit you guys, and he saw that you guys, something switched, and it just like went to straight. This needs to happen, and he just went.
Mode.
Yeah,
Kill those sirens.
I mean, they went after your now girlfriend, so.
You guys are his family. So he's like, nobody touches my family.
Jada.
Hold on, I'm tweeting.
Hold on, DM.
Play.
Sorry,
Hold on a second, DM.
What? Yeah, that was a great turn. I feel useless.
You're not useless. You're amazing.
You're amazing.
You killed like two of these ones in front of me, so
Fireball is help. Yeah, you guys. I can only do this because I knew that I could trust you to take care of all this. All of you guys were killing everybody on the left, and that's the only reason why I was like, okay, let me go over here. Let me try to make sure that these guys don't swarm us. You guys are awesome. I trust you with my life.
Okay.
I did fly instead of hex.
Thanks for fly. It actually worked out beautifully. Hipley.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I will. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm just gonna continue scorching ray. I'll do 3 this time though. Or,
I love how we're just in the sky throwing flames at everybody.
I'm just like
die. Isis did warn them. She said we could drop the sun on them, and it was like sun.
I bet the Sphinx sent these guys after us too. Which would have bet?
No.
To test our might.
I don't know what the hell that is.
See if we're worthy.
Mortal Kombat. Test your might.
What if yeah, no, that's fine. I'll just do 2nd level. It's fine. Wait.
Someone's doing geometry on the board with that.
Yeah, that was me by accident. There it is.
I was like, what spell is this?
I don't know what the hell that was.
That is the weirdest wall of force I've ever seen. That's the weirdest wall of force.
So what are you doing, Jada? You're hitting
one of them hit. I'm doing Scorching Ray.
Okay.
And I'll do it on the one of the ones in front of hit.
The one at paper cut.
Sure, the one that has paper cut.
That
Does
one.
a 14 hit?
It does not.
Okay, I didn't think so. Yeah, so only one of them hit. Ta-da! 8 points of fire damage. And I completely forgot that I had this, so I'm gonna spend some sorcery points.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. To do a quicking spell. To do 5 sorcery points. And I'm gonna do Firebolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to use... Did I use my bonus action? I did not. I'm going to use my bonus action to do Fighting Spirit to give myself advantage on this one.
Nice.
Oh, shoot! Beautiful.
Say hi-ya.
Maybe? Mind your business.
Hiya!
Yeah, firebolt.
That is the best way
What
to
was
roll
it?
dice. I feel like I should roll my dice like that every time. Hiya!
It's a 22 to hit.
That's a hit.
That is
Okay.
a hiya.
I'm actually just firebolt like this, like straight palm, just boom, just shoot it from your hand. Pew.
Shaped like your hand and everything.
Where are my d10s? Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah! That was an accident. I didn't mean to do it again. 10 points of fire damage.
This was the same one.
How was the first one? Hello, words. The first.
Well, there are two. The one that is most directly, the one that you can hit without having to get around hit blade, because there's.
I'm flying.
We'll see him fly.
Oh yeah, you're flying. You can hit either. So the one that is next to hit blade on the right has taken some injuries. Has been pretty badly hit. The one to the left that's using the 2 swords doesn't look that bad.
If they were to fly up
Taking
and around,
some, but
if
not.
If they're focusing on me and if they flew around, would they get advantage? I mean, if they're on me, look at me fighting me, and they fly like around and just pelt them in the back, I'm just saying, would that like I
You
mean?
mean like flanking?
Yeah, because if I'm there and they fly around, I'm just saying.
If Jada flanked
Flew.
them,
Mhm.
if they went around to the back, there would definitely be, advantage for that.
You had that fly speed. I'm just saying.
It's okay. I already
Next
rolled.
time.
Next time. So my first hit then would have gone to the most injured one.
Okay. That one goes down.
Okay. And then the second hit would go to the one who hasn't been hit too much.
And how much damage? What did you say again?
10 points of fire
10.
damage.
32. Okay. Jada, then. Okay, them. The one on you, Hipley, takes a couple swings.
Figured.
Only one hit, not 2.
Alright, I know what so 17 for the save. Hopefully that's it's only be like 14, it's only been how many rounds, so 17. And thank God for these costs. Oh, and I get advantage on constitutional. Well, so 17. Go ahead and do your damage.
Yeah, you take 6 points.
Saying nothing.
Did you use their inspiration die yet?
No, what can I use it for?
Reduce your damage.
Oh, well,
Here.
too late now. Use it next time. I'm good. I'll use it next time.
The one on... Go on.
Yeah, you can use it to add a dice roll. To
Oh my
your
God! I could have hit the other one.
Abilities
Okay.
checks, attack roll, saving throws.
Okay, next time. Damn it.
I know. I forget that stuff all the time for the bard stuff, man. You're not the only one. I forget it all the time.
Oh, I could use it on damage, right? I could. Okay. Well, there.
Yeah,
Do you-
I have combat inspiration. A creature
Yeah.
that gets my bardic inspiration and can
Added that to
use
my
it to add to.
fireball.
You can add to your reaction. You can add to your AC. Yeah, you can do all.
Dang. That's okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
fine. That's next time. So I'll take that cut. It's fine.
D says, what's your AC?
14. 14.
That's a miss.
Still with the armor?
Yeah, I still have my armor up. It's more of a spell that if they hit me,
Right.
they get damage.
Oh, it doesn't up your armor
And
class?
No.
with yours, they take what, 3d6? Or is it like they
It's
take
ice
they
damage.
take
It's
cold
a
damage?
full-
They
Yeah.
take cold damage of 5 points at the first level.
Oh, and it's first level. It's only first
Yeah,
level. Okay,
but that's
right.
if they hit.
Right. Cerridwen, your AC is what?
18.
18. So 3 attacks on you. And 3 misses on you.
Dang.
Wow.
Turtle shield.
And they're hunters? Okay.
All right. And the one up here by you,
Those are
Vesryn,
our prey.
is
Yeah. He sees me staring, or you said he.
She.
They see-
She.
She sees
Trying
me
to run.
staring at her with a death stare, like you will not flee. I will strike. I will hit her as she's running.
Yeah. She's not taking any damage, so she can probably take this.
plus my attack bonus, so it's a natural 14 plus 7, so
Yes, that hits.
1d8 plus 4. That'll be 6 points of damage. Roll a 2.
Okay.
And I'll say, don't run. You're not going to get away. You're going to die here with the rest.
Damn.
She's free breathing.
Y'all, and the crazy thing is, y'all don't hear me saying any of this. All you guys, you guys are back there engaged. This is just me and them.
No, I mean, no, they're screaming like the
The
like,
the hyenas are moving away.
Yeah.
They're not
As
going to
they
try and
should.
go around. It does not
As
look
they
good for the pack.
What pack? We destroyed the pack.
pack. I know
The pack of
all these
bones.
dead bodies. Just sizzling on the ground, just smoke coming up from the charred bodies.
It's a good thing I was there because I probably killed hyenas too.
Cerridwen.
I will. Okay, I'll open with. She's getting tired of these hyenas like bothering her, so she's just gonna cast. Okay, yeah, we'll just cast Earth Tremor at 3rd level. So each creature that's in 10 feet of me needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Miss, make. One made it. The one in the middle.
So those who failed take 16, those who saved take 8, and those who fail also
Prone?
are prone. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you save, you don't take any damage, I think. On the failed save, it takes... Yeah, if he saves, he doesn't take any damage, but the area around me is now difficult terrain.
Yeah. All right. That was good. Do you have anything else?
I will inspire Desus. I'm just like, you got this! Ah! So, you got
Hipley.
This one.
Hipley, what are you doing with this guy? This warrior woman in front of you.
I'm gonna do first. We do one Eldress burst, 17 to hit. Oh, okay, nice. You're gone. Whatever.
It happens.
So 3 damage to the first one. Is it still alive?
Yes.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah. Go
It's all
quickly.
casual, like he rolls this all the time. Nat 20.
Is that double? How does that? Is that double the damage die, or what do I do?
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
so it's only gonna be 8.
You double the damage, the dice damage.
Oh.
Yeah, not
Okay.
not the full damage. No, not your bonuses.
Yeah. So I don't have any bonuses to it.
Okay.
It's just roll. So I
Yeah.
just rolled the damage dice twice. So I got a 1 and a 7, so 8 total damage. Is it dead now?
Nope.
Wait, I'll add the inspiration. Then is that a D8 to damage? What is that to damage?
Yeah.
A D8.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's a D. Let me double check.
Because you're
Yeah,
higher
it's a,
level
yeah,
now.
it's a D8. Yeah, it's a D8. Yeah.
Is it dead now?
Okay, so how does the librarian want to end this chieftain?
Yeah.
Paper cut to the
Paper cut to the throat.
It's just like it wafts like it's in the air very lightly, very gently. It's just like a really clean cut. Like you don't even like notice it at first. Just a clean cut, and then you see the
Anime
blood, and
style.
then it explodes. Yes. In that one, yep. So that's how that one goes.
That took care of that problem. Desus.
All right. So you said that the hyenas that they were looking to get around, but they now are running away?
Yes.
Right. So I will stop concentrating on my wind wall. So that's a free action to drop it.
Yep.
And instead, my eyes flash white as I look to the sky, and a dark cloud starts to form. And as I bring my hand up and strike down, I'm gonna call lightning at 4th level.
Done. Good night.
And let me just make sure. Centered on the point you see within range. So it is like the cloud is like 60 feet radius above us. I pick a point. Each creature within 5 feet. So it's kind of hard to see because I can't see the creatures in
You could get the one on you and the one to the
here.
left. Oh, okay. There you could do that and get all three of them.
Of those to make a save.
And 2 are prone.
So they all failed then, right?
I know. I think
That's a dex save.
I think it's at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a disadvantage. So,
You still roll out on the ground.
They brawl away.
Fail.
It's like, stop, drop, and roll.
both of the prone ones fail. The one that's standing in the center makes their save.
Okay. It'll still take half as much damage, and this is now 4d10.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is awful. I got d10 or 10, 18, 21, 30 lightning damage.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Goodbye.
The 2
A
prone,
10, an 8, a 9.
the 2 prone just stand there for a moment as the lightning goes through them and then collapse. Well, they were already collapsed. They just stay collapsed.
Stand up.
Trying to get up.
They're not getting up.
They get so zapped, they stand up and fall back down.
It zapped them so hard it shot them up in the air.
The other one is still alive.
But very singed.
It's emotionally
But-
dead at this point.
Smoking, hair on end, like the whole thing.
All right.
Whoa, that map went super far away.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird. What happened?
I
Oh,
think you accidentally zoomed out.
I don't think I. Oh, what the
A second. It looked like it zoomed out. Is what it did.
Yeah.
If you
Oh.
just scroll in, it should take you right back.
Yeah, I am scrolling in, and it's.
There you go.
Whoa.
Where the?
I think we're somewhere in the south there. Ooh, there we are.
I am. How far do I? Wow, how far did we move?
Oh gosh, oh gosh.
All right.
In the meantime, my seaweed's going to attack the
The one in front of you?
Alive, yes. Go after it.
hyena one in front of me.
Okay.
All right, that is a natural 17 plus my modifiers. And it was a D8 for my 10.
And your inspiration as well, like your inspired too.
Yeah, it could be on top of that. So I rolled a 7 cold damage. And what was your inspiration again? I keep blanking on it. D8, another D8.
Should have had a D8.
Bah.
Oh,
Should
shut
have had
up.
a D8.
Shut up.
Rolled maxed on the inspiration.
Yeah.
So it was 7 cold, and I guess it'd be additional 8, so 15 cold from my seaweeds.
And
Just
that one collapses under your seaweed weight, too.
Ah,
Leaving-
yay.
Leaving only one right in front of Cerridwen that is still left on the, alive.
Whew.
And it is still smoking from the
Yeah.
lightning.
All right.
After Desus, it is Cerridwen.
Oh, I'm just.
Vesryn? I thought. Wait.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, it's really best.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
Vesryn.
Skip 2 whole folks.
I was like, wait a second. The one that's fleeing. I look back, I see that we're still dealing with one over there, and I'm just going to yell out to it. Tell your people if they mess with the book club again, we will eradicate all of them. And then I will turn, and I will fly back right to where the one mage was, land right on top of her, and I will throw a firebolt at the one in front of Cerridwen.
Okay.
The one that's in front of Cerridwen. Yeah, I'm gonna fly back to where I was when I fought the one lady.
Yeah.
120 feet that I can throw a firebolt, and I'm just gonna throw a firebolt at the back of its head.
Okay.
Natural 18 plus stuff.
Kill it.
Bye, bitch.
That'll be a nine more points of damage to it.
And it
Boys.
goes down.
Yep.
Head explodes.
It's done. Oh my god. Oh.
And then, yeah. I let that one flee, because maybe it'll warn the others to not ever mess with us again.
The elder strings, they pass.
Or swears an oath of revenge upon us and becomes
The big bad, I'll get you.
You killed my brother. This is good.
Are we done with the battle?
And that's it. There's nobody left.
Vesryn's going to reach down, pull off that amulet, and pull off those gauntlet of teeth. And I'm going to put the teeth on my arms, so anybody from that tribe that sees us knows that we killed that shaman.
That's so gross.
Weird, man.
It is weird. But he's going straight up survival brutal mode right now to survive this desert. He wants them to know.
So he's gone Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Witness me!
I just want them to know that we are the ones that did it, and if you want the same, then you know to mess with us. I want anybody who sees that to know who we are.
Make me a perception check while you're there taking off the amulet.
Oh, man, 17. I'm doing good tonight.
17
plus 4.
As you're pulling the amulet off, you notice that there are runes inside the robe also.
I will take that robe.
Okay.
I'm going to be studying stuff. Do the weapons on them look magical at all?
No.
I will tell the others, this one has potentially magic items. We should check the others so we can see what they have. Maybe we have some things that we can use.
I'll check one.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll check the one, because it wasn't one else they were guarding that was next to me. I'll check that one.
Yeah, the one that was next to you was the chieftain.
Ooh, they have anything cool on them?
They had two of the scimitars that it used, but no magic.
Cool, just kidding.
I'll
No
detect
magic.
magic. I'll detect magic and walk around.
Yeah, the only magic was on the shaman.
Okay.
And the teeth thing is not magical.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. That's just for sheer to let them know not to mess with us again, kind of thing. And Vesryn will say, I know this is disgusting, but hopefully if anybody from that tribe comes back, they will know who we are and not want to mess with us again. And as soon as we get to civilization, I'm getting rid of it.
You gotta keep it. No, you gotta keep it on now.
I wave away my storm like,
I'll take the scimitars.
I'll be like, I'll hold them up like, look guys, I can fight too now. I got weapons now. Oh, you can take them, Dwayne. There you go. Just hold them like backwards.
That's what backwards grip is.
Oh, yeah.
There are styles that support that. I don't know.
That's what I was doing. Just hand them over.
Hipley, we could give you some type of training in weapons. That way you can at least carry one on you, and that way if you need one in the middle of being surrounded, you are more than capable of using it.
Yeah, but I got you guys though. So if that happens, I mean, if
Fair
it
enough.
comes down to me having to use a weapon, and I think it's safe that we've lost the battle.
well, here, if anyone needs to cool down, I still got my armor bag at this up.
Yeah.
Give me a
hug. Take 5 points of damage. Ow!
Ooh, that's too cold.
But it's a good cold.
I will turn to the Fae and say, I don't know where that other fireball came from, but I'm glad that you are alive.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
No,
Thank you for your assistance. In the future, if we need you, I'll let you know. Have a safe flight home, and I will dispel them back to their Before they can even respond. I don't know what game up by.
Vesryn made 2 enemies tonight.
Zavoa's in the Fae.
Yeah. All I know is, if you did not give me time to rest, I would have been useless that fight. So, thank you.
Trancing is necessary. I realize that now.
And
I could really use a rest, though.
Yes.
The library's still up. I don't think it hasn't been.
The library's still there.
We should go back.
Let's go back.
Take 2 hyenas with me. We got lunch.
There we
Yeah.
go.
That's true.
Was there any money on any of the bodies?
No,
No.
What they buying out here?
they're not into money.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. You know, some of them. You said some of them do go to civilization. Figured
Yeah.
they might carry some on them.
A magic desert shop.
Yeah, no, yeah, no money. On your way back, there are still hyenas between you and the place, but they just sort of scatter out of the way as you come back. Kind of like when a pride of lion walks through, the hyenas are like, no. There has to be a lot of hyenas.
I Eldritch Blast one of them. Not to kill, but just do an Eldritch Blast to one of them. Just so they still know.
And I'll light up my hand again just so they see it, like it's ready to go.
They stay back. They don't
Yeah.
turn it into a fight.
Well,
Actually, a lot of them sort of scatter away.
And you're like, oh, we know the smell. Ah.
what I will do is I will use. You see me pull up Mave Soul, and I will cast Mass Cure Wounds on us since it's a free spell for the day to use. So,
Nice.
yes, I might as well use it to heal everybody because everybody's taking damage. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mass Cure Wounds. That's 3d8.
I did.
Let's see here, 6, 7, plus 8, so 15, and then it's
Dang.
plus my spellcaster ability modifier. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 hit points.
Dang.
Nice. Nearly full.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
you see Mave, it lights up in that radiant energy from that, swirls out from the blade as it swings by, seems to just kind of go all around, and then you guys feel it land on you, and it just starts to close up wounds. And then I will put the blade away.
I think we show the other Sphinx that we, passed that test. Like, at least just convinced it's a test. Just convinced this is a test. We passed it.
What test?
For the Sphinx, because I like to do tests and things like that, so this is definitely a test.
I'm pretty sure they like.
Pretty sure they just wanted to eat us.
Yeah. Mm.
They were testing
it
to
was a
see
test.
whether they could eat you.
Perhaps it was a test. We do not know how the mysterious Sphinx works.
Yep, you don't.
So, all options are on the table at this moment. So,
And we're in mysterious ways.
where were we at with the food from earlier that you guys
Oh,
were
yeah.
prepping? Speaking
Well,
of
now
on
we
the
got-
table.
You have hyena.
I know the hyena.
We can make some kebabs with these.
Hyena kebabs.
I don't know why, but that does not sound very tasty, but I am up for it.
Well, anything tastes good enough if you put enough butter on it. So.
And
So,
you get back, and there's, the table still has some of the cut vegetables. Now you have some meat to deal with. The place is in good shape. Everybody is tired. The hyenas stay away. And
I'll prepare the food.
you all eat really good. It's the best tasting hyena you've ever eaten.
That's the first.
Jada, have you had better hyena?
I've never had hyena.
You don't eat it.
And I never will.
Suddenly you have a memory, you have a flashback. Wait a minute.
And then you get rest. It's a sleepful night. And then in the morning you hear like maybe the sounds of a horse or something clomping outside, something with hooves. And
God.
when I don't know. You tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I'll look out the window. I mean, if there's something like hooves coming, I'll be like, okay,
You don't see anything out the window. It sounds like it's coming from the front of the house where the door is, not the back.
I'll go out the front door. I'm feeling like confident
Okay.
since we destroyed those things. So, yeah, I'll go out the front door.
God, I'll be right behind him.
Spear to the chest. Spear to the chest.
What up? Hello, world.
And you open the door and you see. Oh, let me see if I can slide it over.
What the?
Hold on.
Well, that is terrifying.
Let me see if I can move it.
It's kind of like a bison
That head, though.
body.
A winged bison with a metal
Head.
human head.
I'm closing the.
I can see him. He opens it and just goes like there's like a 3-second pause, and then he just closes the door.
I'll keep it open. I'll be like, can we?
There you go.
Yeah,
Can
that's like-
we speak English or comment? I'm like,
Can you speak?
And this is where we'll break.
Oh man.
I told you I was a test. This was a Sphinx.
Hey, Vesryn believed you. He was on your side.
Oh my god, it's my new steed.
It's,
It's my-
it's your gift from your.
Library, you get a steed.
there we go.
Look at that muscle tone. Wow.
That thing. I would not want to piss that off.
Day's ready.
Could you imagine if that thing kicked you?
Oh my god.
Friggin' dead.
That is
Yeah.
that is also some custom art that we commissioned
Ooh,
Nice.
for
solid.
a
Nice.
monster we're building. This is called a Lamasu, by the way.
It's a series.
Nice.
I mean, with that head, I feel like it can communicate. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
it can.
It just
They can
goes.
communicate.
"Bleh."
It's so cool and terrifying at the same
You
time.
assume because it's a human head it can talk, but it just goes. "Bleh."
makes
Goat noises.
Goat noises.
Days.
Bison body, griffin wings, human head, but goat noises.
Voice box.
But goat noises. That's awesome.
So tired. Oh my god.
All right.
Oh,
Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to go over to ZealZaddy on Twitter. Sign up so we can make you into a publisher and give you cool stuff. Whole bunch of people involved with that. So you'll get, design, design, editing, some stock art, you'll get a playtest session with a professional senior playtester for MCDM, and a map, for an encounter map. All right, we will see you next Tuesday, which is the 5th, the day after Thanksgiving, after 4th of July. We'll probably be all exhausted. Maybe we'll be burned from fireworks or something by accident. Who knows? Hopefully not. All right. See you in a week. Bye, everybody. See you.
Bye. I'm going to tap out because I got a blue hand.